Good afternoon. Good afternoon to everyone. If you are hearing me, let me see it in the comments. Yeah, welcome one and all. Shane's hand in the comments. If you're hearing me, let me see you. Let me know that you're present. Let me know that you're there. I want to extend greetings to the 6 persons who we have live here today. My name is Fabian Morris, and I will be your host for the evening. And this session is known as the Improving You Forum. And the Chancellor Hall is putting in this event on, and in association with the Mona Campus Youth League, FETE, UWI Marketers Association, and UWI Visions. This session is centered around building the total man, centered around building your mental health, your financial status. How can we fix that? Yeah, improving individual marketing techniques and strategies, and how can our youths be involved in the democratic processes of this nation? All right. I see you, Aishiba. We're out here without fear nor despair. Yeah, man. Bless up to everyone who is on the live. You understand me? Thank you so very much for being here. And we have some very seasoned panelists today, some very seasoned panelists and some very experienced persons to impact and to impart to you their knowledge. I just want to tell you a little bit about the panelists while they prepare themselves. All right. So to discuss your social branding, we have Miss Antoinette Hines, and she's the president of the UWI Marketing Association. Guys, make nice from where you are. You understand, to improve your money management and your financial status and how you can save and stop spending out your money. Yeah, man. We have Miss Lakeisha Lack, who is also a VMFit ambassador. To improve your mental health in these times, these challenging times, these times where COVID has mashed up everybody health and their mental status. We have Mr. Jermaine Peart, and he is the representative of from the Jamaica Mental Health Advocacy Network. To improve your public speaking skills, which is very important in these days, we have Miss Turkimani Shaw from the Faculty of Social Sciences, and he is the representative, and I must apologize, that is Miss Jermaine Peart. Yes, she is a representative of the Jamaica Mental Health Advocacy Network. And also, last but not least, we have the chairman of the Mona Campus Youth League, Mr. Davion Hemmings, who will be teaching us how we can be involved in the democracy and the political process of our nation. If you're still there, let me see you in the chat. This is a chat, as well as we have Miss Kyra Wallfall. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Kyra Wallfall. She is also, so we have a lot of guests. We have a lot of persons who is here. All right. And we are going to allow them to come on and to impact at this point in time. So the first person who we have here is Miss Locke, Miss Lakeisha Locke. She is, I believe, the Rex Nettleford Deputy Hall Chair, a UWI ambassador, and a VM FET ambassador. Is she here? Calling out Miss Locke. Hi, Miss Locke.
Hi, Fabian. How are you?
I am doing well. And how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thanks.
It's not a problem taking it away over. I'm handing right over to you because the people them need to know how them can improve their money. The people them need to know how in this time them can stop spending out their money and start saving properly. And I believe that you are amply prepared and equipped to show us how we can do that.
All right. I mean, even if I didn't believe Fabian, you just gave me the nice little motivation a while ago and everything. So, greetings, everyone who is there in the virtual world. So, as Fabian would have mentioned, I'm here to speak to you on savings. And I mean, for us young persons, you know, we tend to have a problem when it comes on to saving.
Right.
Um, there are personally you have different types. You can be a spontaneous spender, a compliant spender, a desire spender. So you know, for the spontaneous, you know, it's like, okay, I have $5,000. You're in the supermarket. You go in the supermarket just for two things, you know, but you see
Yeah.
something nice, and
That
you say,
sound
you
like
know
me.
what? That's, oh man, drape you already, Fabian.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah, drip me
nice.
already. That sound
Oh,
like me.
you need to go for an extra shirt then.
It's true.
All
Because
right.
in the supermarket, I'm with there and say, yo, me just I go buy one juice and come out. Me
Mm.
end up buy cornflakes, me buy milk, me buy everything. Sorry.
Yes, and you know that I'm here speaking about it, and that happened to me last week. But you know, not gonna kill up yourself about
Yeah,
that.
kill
It's
yourself.
just the important thing is to realize that, hey, you know, I overspent. So what am I going to do different? And then, you
Yeah.
know, you have the desire spender. It's, you know, like the little meme with Wayne Marshall coming around about, you know, me feel for something nice, me feel for go a
Yeah.
hotel. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the desire spender. You feel for something, so you say, all right, you know. But feel for go buy it, you go buy it. And then you have the compliance,
True.
you really just focus on what you need. So if it's school now, you need to print your worksheets or
Right.
anything, you need to buy your ink or all them books and pencils, then you go with that. So really,
Right.
whatever you need to pay for, you pay for. So when you come on to
Right.
savings now, there are 3 steps, and it's called the act. So you have assess your situation. Um,
Mm-hmm.
is it a case where I want to save, but do I? How can I save? So
Right.
you have persons who, especially in the pandemic, where you know, our parents or whoever is supporting us, you know, they probably
Right.
lost their jobs or pay gone down and all. It's the case
True.
where I need to increase my income. If my expenses are more than my income, then we have to look at ways as to how you're going to change that. So am I going
Right.
to reduce my expenses or increase my income? And sometimes it's best to try to increase your income, because I mean, every day things raise, and we can't really tell the government, hey, I'm a university student, I'm not
True.
working, you need to give me the cheaper cost. You can't go in Mr. John shop and say, hey, me I go UWI, my GPA nice, me I do what I'm supposed to do, so just give me a little buy and little discount. You know, we
Right
can't
now,
do that.
Lakeisha. Right now, Lakeisha, me can't even buy canned beef again. Canned beef I sell almost $500 right now. It not
And that can't work. You have
can't work.
people living off $500 for a week, much just to take the whole 500 and buy a car and beef. You see that don't cut it.
True.
So we have to look at ways as to how we can increase our income. And I mean, us university students, our minds are fresh, and I see since the pandemic, a lot of entrepreneurs are blooming. And you know, if you weren't an
Yes.
entrepreneur before, you're thinking of ways as to how you can,
Yes.
you know, have a little side job. And I love that. I
True.
love, you know, I love seeing young people stepping out of their zone and doing
Yeah.
what they think to increase their income.
Right.
Simple stuff. You can start a business. You have person saying, oh, I'm not business minded. Okay, think of things you can do. You have your skills and your talents. See how best you can monetize those to bring in some extra money. You can
Right.
help. You have tutoring services. Help out
Ah.
the students in, I don't like, say, grade 6 or CXC Cape. You know, you would have been through that, so you have some sort of experience there.
Right.
So see how best you can monetize your skills and your talents and make some money and increase the income. Cause I
Right.
mean, everybody want go summer coming up, and hopefully the pandemic kind of gone down. It can
Yeah.
blow
Yeah.
people and put down
Right.
money for your tuition in September. So the second one sees to create you have to create a plan. So all right, you have the money and all right. So
Mm-hmm.
what are you going to do with the money? You don't want to be a desired spender or a spontaneous spender like Mr. Fabian. You have
True.
to know exactly, all right, what am I going to do? And this is where your budget comes in.
Right.
And I know a lot of us have our budgets, and we write it up nice on cartridge paper in our phone, and
Mm-hmm.
we have the fancy apps, but we don't stick to it. That is the
Right.
issue. That is where the issue lies. So you have to ensure that, all right, these are the things that are important. What you separate your wants from your needs. So your needs now would be, for me, my needs would be, you know, grocery.
Right.
I'm a nursing student, so I go to the hospital. So transportation would be a need for me. What else would be? For me, I have an emergency fund. I try to have
Right.
an emergency fund for every month. So those are needs
Right.
that I would have. And I mean, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. So I will have a little, relaxation money somewhere if I
Relaxation.
can,
Yes.
Just
Yes.
yeah, but not too much. But then I will have my savings set aside. And that is the first thing that should always take out of your income. And it's to pay yourself. And when I say pay yourself, I don't mean go KFC
Lord Jesus.
or take taxi go 100 for those who are in Kingston and go do look and drinking with them friend on the weekend. Pay yourself first means to take out at least 10% of your income and
Yeah.
put it in a savings. Now this savings now it's not a part of your emergency fund, or if you're saving for, I don't know, say you're going out with a friend or whatever, saving you just need to save, right?
Right.
And
Right.
then you can also, if say you want something, say, all right, next 3 months I want to buy, let's see, what is there now? Probably at the new clocks where clocks come out with Jamaica, everything, right? Then you would
Yes.
have savings for that. So
Mm-hmm.
your savings is definitely dependent on what you want, and not necessarily want in the sense that, oh, John have it so you want it too, but
Right. Right.
that will benefit you in the long run. You have to ensure that your emergency fund now, it's very important. They
Right.
say your emergency fund should be able to last you for like up to 6 months. I mean, us
Okay.
university students can't really, it kind of rough,
Kind
but
of rough this one.
yeah, it's kind
Yeah.
of rough, to be
Rough.
honest. But at least try, because if there's anything the pandemic has taught us is to try and be prepared as much
Right.
as possible. We wouldn't have thought that, 1 year later we're still here, mask up, social distancing, and
Exactly.
apparently and we're inside and can't go outside.
Right.
So we have to take those things into consideration. And the last step is to track your plan. So
Track
you
your plan.
can't just say, yeah, you have to track your plan to ensure that you're still on the path that you would have stated in creating it, right?
Right.
So with your budget, ensure you have to evaluate and say, all right, this is going on, whatever. This month my expenses exceeded my income. What am I going to do?
Right.
And you can look at it and say, all right, these are the things I spent money on. Let me see how I can cut down. So instead of buying KFC every week or every 2 weeks, let me buy it once a month and cook. Or
True.
you cook, you try stretch it for an extra day then or something.
Mm.
You have a friend invite you out. I
Yeah.
can't come this month, I don't have the money. And if you're afraid to tell
Yes.
them say you don't have the money, then that person is not your friend, because them
Right.
can understand.
You
Say
just know of the
you
money.
don't have it, so you just
Sorry.
stay yard and you just go. If I water, you go drink or up and go your bed. I just water, you go drink or up and go your bed. Nobody
As we
not knowing.
love to say, I just straight vibes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
man.
just straight. So savings and just straight vibes,
Yeah,
right?
man. Straight
So
vibes.
we definitely have to. That is really all I'd say on savings. So the three things: to
Right.
create a plan and to track it. So once
Right.
you, I mean, and I won't say it will be easy, because there are times where you may fall off and decide,
Right.
all right, let me just start back next term or next
Yeah.
semester.
Yeah. Yeah.
We tend to try to do that. So no, off, start back, get back on the horse, and
Right.
start back. Me evaluate and see where I went wrong, how can I
Yes.
make it better, how can
Yes.
I improve, and I
Yes.
mean, of course, share it with your peers. Say, hey, I tried this and it works for me. Not sure if it will work for you, but you can
Yes.
try and see how best. So definitely try to increase your income
Yeah.
and reduce your expenses.
Yes. I want you to do one small thing for me, as I heard you spoke. And guys, if you have any questions, you can put it in the in the chat. And big up to all the entrepreneurs them were there. Yeah, Miss Chelsea K, right, and Miss Aishiba Khan. Big up all on yourself. But I want you to help the students and the youths them who believe that they don't have the capacity to start a business, because you're talking about even tutoring services. Is the other day I started about from January, I started tutoring some students in PEP. And one of them asked me for me said PEP. Oh, I'm in a like PEP, because PEP just seem, yeah, my name not gonna say it on this platform, but I never like PEP. But the people them said to, oh, we deal with thing and we craft with thing and oh, we do the thing. So first and foremost, we look for a niche and what we like. You understand what I say? So I say Talk to the entrepreneurs. Because when I was in 6 farm, you couldn't tell me about entrepreneurs. And you could tell me, say, me could can run my own business and do my own thing and earn money myself. So talk to the youth them who might be doubting themselves as to them being entrepreneurs.
All right, so I mean, the first step is always the hardest. So once you just need to put one foot forward, and then you just start. So
Right.
I would definitely say there are a lot of entrepreneurs on Instagram. You can reach out to them, say, hey, if it's something that is within your niche, something that you're interested in, then go about it. And if you're scared that, okay, too much people selling clothes online, too much people selling lashes, too much people doing tutoring,
Right.
Rihanna founded her makeup thing as if Mac wasn't there. She had Fenty as if Victoria's Secret wasn't there. And sis is
Ah.
making money, so till she could have probably buy Jamaica and
Yeah.
still have money leave back. So don't look at it like that. Look at it in the sense, all right, I want to join this market. What do I have special that I can bring to the market for persons to say, hey, let me
Right.
stop buy from that person. Me I go buy from Fabian. Let me
Right.
stop going to this tutoring service. Me I go to Fabian because
Yeah.
me just love how Fabian have the vibes, the just vibes thing, and he's just so down to earth, and he's a people person. So
Right.
find what you have within that is different and unique, and how best you can bring it to the table. You don't
Right.
have to start a business. There's also I realize a lot of Jamaicans train.
Right.
Try it. You don't have to go and do challenges and all. What can you bring that is beneficial, that will be beneficial to the country, and
Right.
by extension the Caribbean and the rest of the world.
Right.
There's also a podcast. I started a podcast last year. It's not
Yes.
something that I am consistent with, I have to admit, but
Yes.
at least I can say, hey, I tried it, and you can
Yeah.
make money from podcasts. So if you like talk, and as people would say, just love chat and all them something there,
Yeah.
if that's your skill, you have
Yeah.
something,
Yeah. Yeah.
use that, and
Right.
and make your money off that. So do not be scared. I mean, you will be scared. Anything when you're a baby, yes, remember, you don't just get up and just start around and everything. Yeah, you
Right.
creep, you start holding on to furniture, everything, and you start walking, you start run, and you start
Right.
jump and everything. So, in the words of Alkaline, things take a little time. So
Yeah.
just,
We like
take
that.
your time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to take your time. Do your research. Research is important.
Yeah.
Google has endless information. You may not understand some of them, but
Right.
reach out to somebody. If the person say, hey, I can help you, just brush that off. That's fine. Reach out
That's
to
fine.
somebody else and go and do it. I just love seeing, the UA, especially UA students, come out of their comfort zone, and
Yeah.
everybody have them little business, and they make
Yeah.
business. But that's for another day. So believe in yourself, and once you believe in yourself, you can achieve anything.
Thank you so much for your nuggets of wisdom, Miss Locke. I don't see any questions at all left for Miss Locke, and I don't see Miss Locke coming back up either. So I believe that is the end for Miss Locke's presentation. And I just want to read some of the comments down there, as Mr. Shamar would have said. Just look for your niche and find your niche, cultivate your niche, work with your niche, and burn out all bad mind people. Bad mind people will always be there. People will always want to talk. It just look like Miss Lock. Miss Lock, yes, you're back on. I was just holding the fort for you.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, madam. So I'm telling the people them that bad mind people will always talk, and there will always be opposition to global impactors. Once you're a global influencer, there's always going to be opposition. So don't feel no way.
Yeah, once you're doing good enough, people are, all, to know that you're doing good, just watch people. If people start talking, you know you're doing something good,
Yes.
and that's fine. People, you have some persons that they will want to see you good, but not better than them, and then that's fine. And if you have friends, and so I realize that strangers will support you more than your friends, and
Amen.
that is okay. That is fine. Work with who will work with you. Not everyone will be on your journey, will continue to on the journey. Remember, said the bus you have when you take a JUTC bus, it have
Right.
only to stop before you go downtown or wherever it finally stopping in half a tree. So if them just need to stop off at this street, then leave them. You wish them well, and you
Yes.
continue. That's fine. That's okay.
True. That is okay. I don't know if you have any final comments to give to persons, just here and us, want to improve their financial status.
Just to reiterate the three steps: act, assess, create assess a situation, create a plan, and track track the plan. And remember, budgeting is important. And then as it comes on to the business side, entrepreneurship, believe in yourself. The hardest step is taking the first step, and once you take that first step, then things become a bit easier and smoother, and things will not always be perfect. It's just how you get back up on the horse and say, hey, I'm not going to let this bring me down. I just need to assess my situation now. I can improve what I have been doing. So
Thank
that's
you. So we just have, and I want to interject and say this, and so we grow. And so we grow people. So we have to understand, so we have to follow Miss Lakeisha because she is the financial advisor. So you don't know, so you go up on Instagram and you have to go find Miss at underscore, I think, Lucky, Lakki. Also, if I saw her,
LAKII.
Lakii, you don't know the thing go and look for her and ensure so you follow. Yeah, man, I saw it go. And I see Mr. Omari Brown in the comments, and he says, what do you have to say to persons that believe they need a fortune to start a business? Please to educate the youth then.
I didn't hear the question.
What do you have to say to persons that believe they need a fortune to start a business? You hear that?
A fortune?
Yes, a
Yeah.
fortune. So whole heap of money to start business. Yeah.
No, you really don't. I mean, we wish we all had that, long lost grandma, auntie, or something that left a lot of money for us to, start this big business. You have to realize that, hey, again, assess the situation. I
Right.
don't I want to start this business. I want to open a clothing store, but I only have $20,000, right? All right, you start small. So the clothes, you have different. You have slippers, you have jewelry, you have pants. All right, let me just start off with jewelry alone
Yeah.
instead of going big. So you start off small and then you build on that,
Yes.
right?
Exactly.
You continue in your profit, and you continue to say, all right, this is going on, the jewelry are going, so let me add the shoes then. And you realize that we have make money now. You add something else. So you don't have to
Yes.
start off big, You really
Exactly.
don't have to start off big.
Right.
Remember, for Amazon, the man I don't remember his name right now, but he started it in his garage. And
Jeff
when he went to
Bezos.
thank you, when he went to all these companies for investment, they laughed at him.
See
They
that?
never really, I guess they never believed in him, but guess what? He believed
Yes.
in himself, and him said, all right, mega start small. He
Mm-hmm.
started it in his garage. And look at Amazon now.
Can't talk to them. Full of chatter. We not take it back.
Exactly. Them full of more than chat. Them full of everything. They have the world in
Yes.
their hands. Who would have thought? And I can bet those big companies that were laughing at him and say, hey, no. They wish they could invest in it. No. So you just have to assess the situation. I have to
Yes.
start small. I mean, we all have big dreams. But guess what? When you have your 10-year plan, you have to
Yes.
cut it down. So you cut it down to 5, and you cut it down to 2 or 1 year, 6 months, 3 months. We all had this plan that, hey, we are graduate, we want this big house and this car. But guess what? What's the first plan? You have to pass GSAT. You go to high school, you pass CXC and CAPE. And then, passing that, you're reaching to university. And then
Yes.
the plan now is to get a degree, get a proper job. So
Right.
everything comes in stages. So start small. You don't have to. If it's a case where you're going to need big money, start save for it. So put that
Okay.
down. So in the next 6 months, all I'm going to do is save $10,000 every month, five
Yes.
thousand every month.
Every
And then when
month.
the 6 months come, you get the startup capital you want. And I mean, you can always try to get persons to invest as well.
Yes. Yes.
Come up with
Yes.
a proper proposal to see how best they can benefit more than how. The more a company see that they can
Yes.
benefit, the more they will be willing to give you money.
Yes.
So no worry yourself, so you don't have a whole heap of money. Start small, start where you can, and it's you have everything.
True. True. And thank you so much for that. Start small. And it's true. Just start small. Just start.
Just
Just
start.
start.
Just
Yeah,
start.
just start. Just start. I hope that answers your question, Mr. Brown. I see no other questions in the chat Big up to Kemoy Perry, we are shout out lucky with the whole advice like she did in a stadium when a champs time. Yeah, man, big up yourself, Kemoy. And you don't know the thing already. Follow Chancellor Hall pages, EAC pages, and also the official Hall pages on Instagram. This is the Chancellor Hall EAC Improving You Forum. Miss Luck, if that's your final words, I want to thank you for being a guest on this panel, because trust me, I believe somebody was impacted today by just the few golden nuggets that you have given to us today.
Thank you for having me. And I
No?
hope everyone actually, if they don't have a budget, start their budget. And if they have it and they're not sticking to it, start sticking to it.
Start sticking to it. Consistency. Yeah. That's it. Thank you, Miss Luck. And at this point in time, I don't know, I understand. No, sir, the comment section you're dead. Me just wish say this a comment section here. Boy, may I tell you about people, you heard it from Miss Luck herself, and she said it's just 3 simple steps: access, then create, then you start to track your plan. So I hope that you guys have been working and writing rather, because at this point in time, I have an amazing guest here who I'm about to introduce, who has some vital steps to help you not only fix your financial status, but to also get your mental health right. And I don't even want to just talk about mental health, but I want to talk about how can we be consistent? How can we wire our minds for the win? So at this point in time, if she is here and if she's ready to go, I want to invite Miss Jermaine Peart, and she is a representative from the Jamaica Mental Health Advocacy Network, who will be teaching us about our mental health today. Miss Peart, thank you.
Hello, hi. How are you, Fabian?
You know, some all right. The breeze up blow, sun a shine, the weather seems nice, COVID up, but we're better than COVID. Yes, ma'am, we're here.
All right. And I can imagine after Mr. Holness's presentation that we might have some good news. Easter coming up and thing, hopefully. Yes, and please and please be safe, guys. Like, yes, we have the vaccine here, but if you can get vaccinated. If you think you should wait first, but do what you can to ensure that you are protecting yourself and also your family. And if you live alone, if you live with friends, you have little sisters, little cousins, do what you can to protect yourself. Because at the end of the day, you might think, oh, I don't need to wear a mask today, but when hospital bill need to pay, is you going to pay. Nobody not going to come to pay it for you, is you have to find the money to ensure that you're covered. And also, if you are going through some things financially, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, just be positive. If you're a praying person, pray as well, because it's not easy. We're going through a pandemic, people. Like, I'm sure many of us didn't think that, okay, it's 2021 now. As I've been saying, I'm sure many persons have joked about it, but really open Jumanji. Like, when it got lock back, we need it for lock back now. Like, seriously. Yes. So I'm so happy that Miss Lakeisha had started for me, because she touched on some things that I believe from a mental health perspective we need to be able to gauge ourselves. Just like the game Candy Crush, everybody know Candy Crush. You know that in order for you to go on to the next level, you have to have a strategy. And it's the same thing with your life, whether you're in primary school, high school, you're working, you need a strategy for your life, because what's happening is that you have personal plans. And I'm sure that when 2020 started, everybody said, no man, 2020, plenty, you'll have this luck. COVID
best things in sliced bread,
Oh, and you're like, boy, what is this on me? Jesus, no. Do over. Some people say, boy, them birthday don't exist for the 2 years. When 2022, 2023 come, them start again. But hey, everything happens for a reason.
Yes.
What I say to you is, and the things that I mentioned, think always of strategy. Strategy doesn't mean that you're gonna always get it right. I think that's the fun part of it, knowing what works for you. So there are things that examples that I may use that I find work for me, but if you find that there's another alternative that works for you, do what works for you. Because at the end of the day, your mental health matters. And your mental health is not limited to just the illnesses, it is just your whole well-being. The moment you open your eyes to when you close them at the end of the day, or whenever you decide to sleep. All right, so
Yes.
the first thing to understand is your anxiety is normal. Expert psychologists have mentioned and have agreed that your anxiety is actually what helps you to protect you on a day-to-day basis and helps you
Yes.
to make or instill preventative measures. So, for
Wow.
example, this new curfew that is going on, if you're a
Right.
student or you're working or you have a business, as Lakeisha rightly mentioned, or you're trying to save your money, say the
Yes.
boy did want to, and unfortunately, there are some taxis, there are some supermarkets, some businesses that have increased their prices because, or they have decided to close before the appointed time because people need to get home.
Right.
Majority of our employees or students, well, students have the opportunity to stay home, but if you're a student that has to go out on the road, you're
Right.
wondering, boy, I hope I can get home early. And the level of uncertainty that is on the road can make you anxious, can make you say, boy, I don't want to go out anymore. So
Yeah.
what you can do is just first understand that it's part of the process. Your body is used to it. However, be careful and be
Yeah.
mindful that you are also educating yourself in the process. Know what's happening around you. If you don't
Right.
like the news, let me know because it's too gruesome. You have social media.
Yeah.
You can select. Yes, this is true, Fabian. You can
It's true.
select which post you want to select which post is work great for you. I think, for
Yeah.
example, the Gleaner might put up 20 posts per day. If you only like
Yes.
three, select the three that you want.
Yeah.
If you like a break, hey, take that break. You
Take
have
a
the
break.
opportunity to control it in that space.
Yeah.
Breaks are important. Don't
Yes.
go on social media and people saying, well, in this pandemic, if you're not taking a break, there's something wrong with you, something wrong with you. If you feel say you don't need to take a break. Even machines,
Take break.
even machines take breaks. Your cars need a break, your blenders need a break, everything need a break. So why don't you think you need a break as well? And this leads into my second point of
Yeah.
finding distractions.
Yeah.
So I don't mean distractions that you're on PUBG or you're on Twitter every day or you're
That's
probably up
yeah.
on a con.
Mm,
No. Finding
okay.
a distraction means that finding a distraction means that if you're in a space where, boy, as you say, you want to do the savings or you want to start the business but not sure, you reach a
Yeah.
stumbling block like, yo, everybody just a talk about them make millions and them make
Yeah.
thousands. No feel no way,
Yeah.
no feel no way.
True.
It's their journey.
True.
Focus on your purpose and your why to why it is that you want to start this business or you want to develop a skill set.
True.
Find that distraction, or most importantly, let's take it back a step, take
Yeah.
it back a bit rather. Create two lists. It can be a
Mhm.
virtual list. It can be something that you write down. I find out writing down things actually has a greater impact. They feel like it official when you can write it down. What I found happening is, or what I'd say you do, put into one list the things that you
Right.
can do something about it. On the next list, or the next side rather, the things that you have no control over. Write them
Yeah.
down, look at them, assess them, and then begin to see where it is that you can fix. You can leave the me not too sure list
Yeah. Left it this up.
one side. Yeah, left it there so, and you
Yeah.
can begin to work on the other one. Now,
Yeah.
where it comes to the distraction now, where you may find that you're being overwhelmed, what you can do
Yeah.
is have that distraction box now. That distraction box could be things that you feel that you know that when you start it, it gives you lowered anxiety, it makes you feel a
Right.
bit better, and you know that you'll be better and you can go back to do what you actually, or the task at hand. The
Okay.
distraction box could be, for example, this forum held by Chancellor Hall is great. You stuck and
True.
not sure where you want to tune in on a Sunday and say, all right, yeah, we talk about money, we might talk about mental health. Somebody supposed to come talk about marketing and branding myself. Now go stay for this, come on, know what to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put
Yeah.
yourself in, get some
True.
sleep, give yourself the rest.
True.
Also, play a game, call your family members.
Yeah.
Everybody going through it right now. And also, in this distraction box, be mindful that you don't get too caught up in it too. So yes, it's a distraction, but at some point you have to take a break from the distraction and go back to reality. If it's too much
Yes.
for you, you can always get in touch with your tutors, with your friends who you know you can trust, who can help to bring you back to the reality so that you know that you're on firm ground, or you can get in touch with us at the Jamaica Mental Health Advocacy Network for assistance. We do have a support group. I believe we have one this Tuesday.
Yeah.
We will post our information on Tuesday that you can RSVP with us and join the support group. It is free. And if you
Free.
find that you still
Free.
need more,
FREE. Free.
yeah,
Mm.
free,
Yeah.
free,
Free.
no joke, free. And if you find that you still need additional assistance, still reach out to us and we'll be more than happy to put you on to our trained psychologists. All right. So apart from the distraction box too, there's another
Right.
aspect of this distraction is how you spend your time. So in
Right.
spending your time, you say, boy, 2020 did
Yeah.
2021, boy, he would have over by now, but we're still in this pandemic.
It's still in it.
So
Yeah.
yes. So what are you going to do now? What you can consider is okay, and I've been asking this question and I think it's so profound when you really sit and think about it. What if the universe was trying to test us to see if we're really ready for all those vision boards that we've been creating, all those things? You know, say 5 years time, I got my house, I got my degree. Are we really putting ourselves in a situation that a pandemic has come now, but we're still trying to get to that vision, those visions that we have for ourselves? So
Ah.
what I'd say, that is true,
Yeah.
that can work for us. So look at it like that. I know it's not easy. Personally, boy, sometimes one of the things that I've been telling myself every morning when I'm fighting myself to get out of bed is, yo, success does not come from comfort. So that bed, you have to leave it, come back to it for when you reach home. But right now you
Yes.
need to get up.
Yes.
And another aspect that I've looked at in terms of our connections and what it is that we want in this life, when we're thinking about the distractions and also the things that we want to do,
Yeah.
understand that your relationships may be rocky at this time. So if it's okay if you find that you're not close to some people like once, you may have failed relationships, you may have new relationships, but it's also a great way for you to give yourself a pat on the back for what you can maintain. Give yourself a pat
Right.
on the back. Say, maybe you say you did have plans for this week. Probably some of us seem not even start anything yet, but that's okay because this has taken a toll on us. One
Right.
of the things that I've done for this year was and thinking about it now is still a shock for me, but I did it. I
Right.
created an IG Live series called Big Bold Combos, and I didn't have a high-end phone, and that lesson taught me that I don't need a high-end phone to start whatever it is I have to start. I have a Samsung A30s, and it ran my IG Lives 1 hour each time. I still do
Okay.
not have Wi-Fi at my home, and I've done all my
Yes.
presentations, all my panel discussions, all my writing, all my typing, all my IG lives on data only.
Beautiful.
So as Miss yes, so as Miss Lakeisha had mentioned, if you know you want to do something, best believe you'll find a way to make it work.
So you don't
You'd
need
be
the
surprised.
iPhone 11 Plus. Thank you very much.
You don't need it because the
No.
question is, and this might be an oop moment, if the phone stop work or it drop, can you fix it? Do you have the money to fix the phone?
I hear the cricket them in the background.
So don't no watch no face. Stop thinking that you need to be perfect. As Lakeisha mentioned, start, take the baby steps. Even if it means say you probably have 2 days off or something happened. You had
Yes.
a death in the family. Give yourself time to grieve. Boy, JUTC is unreliable. 1 week probably you don't have no bus. You have to go take public, the coastal bus them, and you know all that's
Yes.
there already. You have to be vigilant and make sure say nobody not take nothing from you. That takes a toll on you. Give yourself
Yes.
a break, but be happy for the small victories. Be happy
Yes.
say they know of up on the bus when a time. Nobody never told pick you. They watch and know say somebody over there so look away. They could have
Yes.
screw up your face or yeah.
True.
And they have your money for you still.
Exactly.
Celebrate those small wins as well. Take your time and go and do. If you're not sure, reach out to someone who you think that can assist you at this time too. Yes, we all wanted to finish school. Yes, you probably have the financial difficulties, but even a
Yes.
little partner plan can help you.
Talk to
A little
them.
$500 a month. That's how I started with COK, and I remember at one point I had like $100,000 in my account. I'll share that much. I've already shared it. Yeah, I remember going to that level because we just start put on money because it became a part of me. So if you're thinking that oh my God, do it and the pandemic start small, and best believe and how the brain works. You see, the moment you start, everything start make sense. You're like, yo, a good thing to start. This is not no man. And then what always happens as a praying woman, I can say God sends people your way that you need to help the process. So
Yes, can
somebody
I help?
say, yeah, do something, probably an investor, probably a friend, I say, yeah, do this. No man. All right, come me
Mhm.
help you. What you say? And he want photographer. I have a
Yeah,
friend. Why you
I have
never
a
saw me
friend.
from long time? So Fabian, if you just know, just trust the process. Start small. Better you
Yes,
start small and start doing if you do, rather than pretend like. Because the worst thing what could have happened to you, you did
yes.
it and see somebody else do the idea and I said, Jano,
See there?
Jaja, what is for me? Look, watch there. So
Mm-hmm.
don't be hard on yourself. Give yourself credit. We're in a
Yes,
pandemic, people. We can't tell our grandchildren about this. Say, yo, remember when me have to mask up and everything. You're
yeah,
good. You're in a good space. And thank
yes,
God, thank you that you're here sharing with us and well can learn from us as well so that
yes,
you can continue to build yourself. Because look at it this way too. Not everyone can sit here and go through a whole session and say, boy, so this informative. Some people come on and left immediately, kawa. They not think it apply to them.
yes.
And this is
And
free.
that's all right. And that's okay.
That is
That is quite
so
fine
big.
because we know the impact that's happening right now.
Yes, yes. So big up yourself for the fact that you found a forum like this, which you
Yes,
know in your spirit, you say, no, man, I have to big up myself, I have to build up myself. So
yes,
thank you for coming and thank you for allowing us to share with you. And the last point is be kind to yourself and others. And
yes,
another point that I mentioned is be kind to yourself. I found in and I've seen where other persons are going through it as well is the opportunity to really and truly forgive yourself. You know those moments you sit down and probably eat some food and you say, Jano, why am I do that? Like, really, girl, really.
yeah,
But forgive yourself. That's the first act. Yeah, you're learning to forgive others and say, and best believe it is actually a freeing moment when you can really and truly sit and forgive somebody. No, forgiving that person doesn't mean that you're going to allow them to do the same thing over and over again. But in
right,
freeing them, you free yourself, and it gives you the opportunity to know that you can still be in the same room with this person, but now you're aware. You're aware to certain things. So say, all right, this not gonna happen to me again, or you can sidestep it the next time it happens. But also forgive yourself. Anything happened last week or yesterday or 5 minutes ago, forgive yourself about it. We're not perfect, but the great thing about it is when you can look at yourself and say, this was actually a lesson.
yes,
Well, that's not that. I think a couple years ago, there's a post going around saying, boy, if you can face the things that you made a mistake about when people throw it in your face, say, boy, you're ugly like you say, yeah, I'm ugly, so what? Come with something new, man. You find some people that have not difficult, but because you are accepting some of the
yes,
things about yourself. Doesn't mean that all of them are always true, but learn not to take things personal. Just
right.
do you. Matters
Just
is
do
what
you.
the purpose of it. Yes, thank you,
Right,
Fabian. Do you?
right,
And also in this time especially, be kind to others and also practice building your interpersonal skills, because what matters more than ever is your interactions with people, how you communicate with people. Yeah, we have the businesses, yeah, we have the ideas, but if you are building a business where when people message you, you not answer them until you feel like, you lose your business. If
right
when you're
away.
interacting with if even if how you dress, and I know our brand ambassador or brand manager will come and talk about that. Your brand means everything. We can touch on that a bit.
Yeah,
The way you dress, the way you interact with people can help to even get you new clients. The way how you make people feel at the end of the day, the welcoming presence that you have in certain situations can give people say, no man, Fabian, I'm going with this man. Say my business out of here. I'm gonna support it just because. You're on the bus, in public transport, in a line, you see an old lady, give her a blind. You see a pregnant lady, give her a seat. You never know
true.
what blessing ah, you never know what blessing you're bringing onto yourself when you can do things like that.
Yes,
You never know. So in this time of this pandemic, is more than ever important for you as change
yes,
makers to be the change you want to see in the world. No, me not tell you if you go stop bullets. No, I'm just saying. One step at a time. Just get it together and know that we're all one connection. We're all long for go back outside. See how Queenie have wedding yesterday with our good
Yeah,
husband.
I
Queenie
tell
find
you.
love.
Yeah,
Queenie has Queenie has found love. So if
yeah,
Queenie can find love and Queenie find man was steady with her, you can find love too.
exactly.
Everybody wants to go back outside. Everybody wants to do what them long for do. I probably never do yet, but boy, I want the freedom for know, so I could have done it. So
Yes,
be kind to yourself, be kind to others, forgive yourself, forgive your family. Give this yourself the opportunity to heal from unresolved issues as well. Things where you're saying,
yes.
oh, so when me I did six, this happened to me, free yourself from that. Because
True.
the interesting thing as well, you see where you want to go, you have to go through some things first so that you can be ready for that. But if you're going with a attitude where you say, oh, me not deal with that smut here, me can't do, you not get it. So use this opportunity, this what I like to call a slow period, to love yourself, heal from whatever it is that you're going through, learn to process some of the unresolved issues. I can tell you one of the reasons why I shied away from leadership is because when I was in grade 5, I may have lessons, and me did go enough of myself and say, boy, I'm gonna help everybody, because we have lesson plan. Everybody get 9 out of 10 and everybody cuss me. And from that day, I'm saying, no, me not jump up on the nothing else again. And I didn't know that affecting me till the point in which I was recommended for positions, but I didn't want it because I didn't want to fail again. But if I
Mm-hmm.
had probably the insight to say, say, I'm gonna do it anyway,
Yeah,
things probably would have been different, but different
yeah,
strokes for different folks. And maybe if I had changed it another way, maybe I wouldn't be in this platform too, in which I can
yeah.
confidently know and share the
Thank
story.
you
I have
very
a story
much.
to tell
Mhm.
you.
Yeah,
So
you can look at that.
if you find yourself going back in the past, forgive yourself for it, assess the situation and see how it can be better. You can We all make mistakes.
Yes,
Don't kill up yourself about it. Don't be too harsh on yourself about it. Look at it as a character builder. Look at it as an opportunity. Say, say back in the day this, but I'm no longer this person, and it has made me stronger and I can move forward. So be kind to yourself. Find distractions or have a distraction box. Take a break from social media if you find yourself being overwhelmed, especially with
yeah,
this vaccine initiative that they have. You might find more information out. If you feel the need to take a break, take a break. You deserve it. Your parents still watch news, your grandparents still watch news. Them can update you. You don't need to, if you need to take a break.
right.
Also, understand that the anxiety that you may feel during this time is all part of the process. And you can also assess your situation to know how you can minimize that too. So, as you say, our Prime Minister will have an update for us based on what's happened. Take a deep breath, understand that it's all part of the process. Some
Yes,
people might bash him and say, boy, him not do nothing, but hey, it's better than nothing at all.
you mean,
That's how I see it. And I can, from a mental health perspective, I
yes,
would not want to be the Prime Minister right now. I I can tell you this much. The human in me would have probably chipped to at one point because, hello, me tired too.
Mhm. Yeah,
So, from a mental health perspective, I would also say it's an opportunity for us to understand that we are all going through it and we're all
yes,
trying different ways to cope and to be better, to have a better nation, to be better individuals. So,
yeah,
also mindful of that as well. If you see people react to you a certain way, we're in a pandemic,
yeah, yeah,
people reacting differently and some people not coping as they should. So checking on yourself, do your self-care tips and routines and everything, find your resources, but also checking on those around you and your co-workers and everybody and your teachers and your lecturers too, your doctors and your nurses, them are go through hell. So be kind to them, be kind to the government workers, them under pressure too.
you
So
have a
moving
kind.
forward, yes. And be kind to Fabian as well. Fabian is doing a wonderful job hosting. Don't know
Thank you
what
very
Fabian
much.
is going through. Support the business too if you can. If you can't support it, post it on your WhatsApp or
Yeah,
on your social media too.
yeah,
Yes.
mhm.
So be kind and understand that at the end of the day, all our mental health matters as well. But yeah.
Yes. And Miss Spirit, something that I pulled from, and I had to write it because I said I have to say it. You know, you have to heal. Because you see, even that situation where you said with the grade 5 thing that could have hindered you from where you are now. I see a lot of person. Even I was talking to a girl this morning, and she said she just ate almond. She said she ate almond because of the situation. It wasn't even a personal situation, but based on what's happening, the series of events that has been happening in the nation with men and relationships overall. My lady said she done with relationships. You understand what I mean? And it's understandable. But we have to understand that if you're not healed from certain relationships and healed from certain things, you're going to hinder your own self, because guess what? No, there's no way you can form a strategy, as you stated earlier, so that you can plan for your life ahead.
Yes, indeed. I do agree with you.
Yes. So,
Yes.
it's serious. And I want to thank you for giving us those golden nuggets. And I want to tell you guys, please, I believe that I just spotted it. It's at Miss_Germain on Instagram, I believe, Miss Spirit. Yes,
Yes, that is
yes. You go on, you follow, because she's working with the Jamaica Mental Health Advocacy Network. If you know, say you need time to get the pushing, if you know, say you need time to get the stretching and get some people to work with you so that they can wire your mind for the next level. Yeah, man. My love, me spirit already. As with Jamaicans would say, my spirit take her. So you need to go and you need to ensure that you follow me spirit and make sure, say, yeah, the things sort out. Miss Spirit, I want to thank you for your
Oh,
contribution. Yes, go right ahead.
you're most welcome, and I hope that someone was able to connect with that artist today. Also, don't forget to follow Jamhan as well. We are J as in Jack, A as in Apple, M as in Mango, H as in Hat, A as in Apple, N as in Nancy _JA. So we're on
Yes.
Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And remember to follow us, because we're gonna have our support group on Tuesday. And come in and get information. And if you still think that you need more assistance, message us
Yes.
as well, and we'll be more than happy to assist. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Miss Spirit. And we want
You're
to big
welcome.
you up and say big up the Jamaica Mental Advocacy Network. Bless upon yourself. Thanks, Miss Spirit.
All right. You're welcome.
Guys, I open a have no book and no pencil. I open a writing. I just hope so. Yeah, Chelsea, bless up yourself. Bless up yourself. You understand me? Omari, if people are get drip, just and them a next piece of marina or one shirt and make sure say, yeah, them all right. You don't know the thing go. You understand what me I say? My love, what me I sense, my love, what me I learn, me I document, me I write myself. Me feel like me on an international conference. Truly never understand right now. And at this point in time, our next person, our next panelist that we have here today is the Vice President for Health for UWI Visions, and her name is Kyra. I hope I got the name right. Wall Fall. If that name is correct, I'm waiting on Miss Kyra Wall Fall. She is the VP of Health, I believe, for the UWI Visions. Miss Kyra Wall Fall. Yeah, man, Joseph. Bless up, just bless up, Miss Spirit.
Hi.
Hi. Hi. Did I get your name right?
Almost. It's Kahira Walfall, but that's all right.
Kahira.
Hi.
Hi. Hi. Did I get your name right?
All right. Having feedback?
Yes, there's a feedback. I don't know. Yes, there's a little feedback.
Good now?
Testing for sound, testing for clarity. Yes, we're good. Yes.
All right, wonderful. Yes. Sorry about that. So sorry about that. So yes, almost right. It's Kahira Walfall, and yes, I'm the VP for Health for UWI Visions for this academic year, and I am honored to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yes, not a problem.
Alrighty. So let's get right into it.
Yes.
So it's youth in democracy, 21st century democracy. And of course, there are so many contexts we can put this in. So sociocultural context, when you say democracy, people think PNP, JLP, NDM, Marcus Garvey People's Political Party, independent candidates, and the listing goes on.
Yes.
Democracy itself, for me, is a lifestyle. It's a culture. It's
Yes.
what we adopt. It's what we are as a people. So democracy, the word is actually from the Greek word demokratia, and that actually means ruled by people. So it is the means by which a collective group of individuals puts their voice together to say, this is what we want, or no, this is not happening.
Yes.
All right. So let's break this down into 3 parts. We're going to talk about political context, we're going to talk about political involvement, and the challenges that youth face in politics. Good?
Good.
All right. Right into it. So political context now. Now, when we think sociocultural, the first thing that comes to mind is status. And when we think status, we think about that vehicle. So it's either the Toyota Prado, a BMW, an Audi, Volkswagen, and the listing goes on.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
has, yeah, man, something up there, don't? Yeah, man,
Yeah.
you can't be a politician and you turn up in a jalopy and you want my vote. Nah,
Actually.
works not. It works. I see your facial expression there, Fabian. And the reality is, you are not alone.
Yes.
This is what majority of our population thinks. And of course, youth ourselves wanting something fresh, wanting something new, wanting to be a part of what is current, this is what we are going for. We want this. Earlier, our VM ambassador, Lakeisha, she spoke about financial security.
Yeah.
She was helping us to get there. And this is what it represents. This is what it looks like. And I don't know why our youth are shying away from democracy itself, because if this is what it is and we're aiming for financial security, they are the same direction, the same thing, heading in the same direction. All right, good.
Good.
So when you think about a politician now, you think attire. So you think either fully formal or party colors. So it's either orange or green or almost British.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. Let's leave it right there. All right, so language now. This person ought to be verbose. Yes, communicating in the acrolate.
Yes.
You hardly get the Jamaican vernacular turning up.
Hardly.
But yeah, man. When the conversation gets heated in these political rallies, that is what jumps out.
Right.
It comes, don't. Yeah, man,
Yes,
because
right.
that is who we are, a dynamic people, and our patois is us. All right, moving to interpersonal skills now. The interpersonal skills of a politician ought to be good. Don't. Yeah, man, you must be able to relate to me, because you can't be speaking to me and you're speaking above me or below me, and there is no way that whatever you are saying is connecting to me or my circumstance.
Right.
Yes, there must be some ability to relate.
The feeling people.
Yeah, man, to relate. Yeah, you feel it, Fabian. All right, good. Now, we're talking about gender now.
Yeah.
And in some subcultures, because our popular culture in our country is that whether male or female can be a part of politics, can involve yourself in the political processes. However, there are some subcultures that believe that somehow if you are a woman and you put yourself out there and get involved in politics, there is something to be said about you that is less than lady.
Mash down that lie.
And for me, that is just bizarre. Let us break that barrier right now.
Right. Right.
Because sitting in your living room talking about all that there is, all changes that could happen, and really not moving out there to be a part of it, whether by taking a seat in the Senate or moving to be a member of parliament or a council, or simply adding your voice to the voting populace, it really makes no sense. Because you're just in the shadows with all your ideas, and what? How does this help my country? How does this contribute to positive growth? Right? Yeah, man. So we have to move forward and just do it within our capacity. Earlier, when we were having that mental health discussion, it was about being the best version of you. And being the best version of you sometimes means that we have to push ourselves beyond the little comfort zones. Don't happen out of bed. Don't. We spoke about that, Yes. Nobody gets anywhere lying in bed, sitting there. So whether it means to go ink up that finger or to add a voice, whatever it is, just move
Yes.
forth and do it. Yeah,
Do
man,
it.
good. Now, a responsibility of a politician is to lead. Yes, and we are seeing that now with the COVID-19 vaccine. Because our politicians are going out there, or the members of our government and opposition and the other influential figures, they're moving out and they
Right.
are setting the example, right? They're showing us that, hey, this is what we are moving forward for now. Because it's been over a year since we've been having this COVID-19 pandemic. And quite frankly, we have taken a hit in every way possible. Health sector, oh God, don't let me talk about that. I mean, as a people, we are
Yes.
diverse. I think Jamaica is the only country within the Caribbean that has a hospital solely for children that is so advanced, or Bustamante Children's Hospital.
Yes.
And yet, we are taking a hit from this pandemic. Not
Right.
unique to us, but I would have loved if this pandemic could be happening and we're saying, oh, Jamaica is on top of things.
Yes.
Yeah, man. But we're
Yeah.
getting there. We are getting there,
Right.
slowly but surely.
Slowly
And
but
this
surely.
vaccine is a part of it, right? Because we're aiming to achieve population immunity. Yeah? Yeah, man. And this population immunity has been happening since forever, because most members of our Rastafarian population do not take vaccines. And what we have noticed was that in 2019, I think it was, there was a measles outbreak in New York. And the traffic from New York to Jamaica is a lot, for those who don't know, because New York is practically all Jamaican, all Caribbean nationals.
Right.
So there was an outbreak, but in Jamaica, the cases were like 10 for the entire year, because majority of the population couldn't catch it. So if you can't catch it, you can't pass it.
Right.
Don't it? Yeah, man. So
Right.
we're moving towards that, and our leaders are seeing that this is the way, and they are moving forward, taking the mantle, showing us how. Now, when we talk about the formal responsibilities of politicians themselves, we talk about policy creation.
Right.
Yeah? So shaping laws to benefit us,
Could be.
whether it be financial laws, social laws, whatever it is. Moving forward, yes?
Right.
No. So a resource allocation or constituency development fund, and the allocation of monies to our different ministries for whatever policies or programs there are.
Right.
It's about representation of the people and consideration of bills and all that there is to deal with that.
Right.
No. Let us move on to political involvement. So we've covered political contexts.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So in 1944, universal adult suffrage happened.
Take us
And
there.
that, go again?
Take us right there. Right to history class. Right?
Take us
Let's-
back to 1944. We
Yes.
need to remember,
Yes.
universal adult suffrage happened. And with that, individuals 21 years and older are able to add their voice to the democratic process with your right to vote. It was later changed to 18 years and older, as we are now experiencing. It's now 18 years and older for us now in 2021. Now, before that, in order to add your voice to the democratic process, you had to be an individual who was of status, an ascribed status. And if you were lucky enough, it would be an achieved status. So you had to be born white, or a mulatto, or somehow a farmer who acquired quite a bit of land. Now it's an innate right as a citizen. And I think somehow we are happy that this is so, but maybe we have gotten really very comfortable with it. Because, yeah, man, we weren't the generation who had to fight for it. So it's just another thing now. So maybe we don't appreciate it enough. But voter apathy isn't unique to Jamaica. It's something that's happening all across the world. And it's influenced by our legal and structural factors. So perhaps individuals who are below the age of 18 years old would like to add their voice but legally they can't. Legally they can't. So they just have to keep practicing, and putting their social and political ideologies together, because maturity doesn't happen overnight, right? And 18 is just the legal age, but you have to know what you need to do when you get there before you get there, right? No, voter qualifications. You have to be a citizen, yes? And in order to get that right to step into the polling station, most individuals prefer to use the voter identification. That is totally cost-free to the citizen. Totally cost-free. You just turn up at your electoral office of Jamaica, you take your picture, you give your fingerprints, sign a few forms, provide whatever form identification they ask for to do that, and then that's it. Totally free. And that is a national identification that most individuals tend to use. Later on in the presentation, we're going to talk about something that's really interesting as it relates to that. Now, the type of election. We find that people turn out more for a general election when compared to a local government election.
Yes.
Maybe it's just the vibes. Maybe it's the vibes.
Maybe it's the
Maybe
vibes.
that's it.
Vibes,
Yeah,
bro.
man. With a population of almost 3 million people, this is what is happening. So our last 5 elections were in 2020, 2016, 2011, 2007, and of course 2002. Now, in 2020, the registered voters we had were 1,913,410 persons. Remember earlier I said it's a population of almost 3 million, and that's almost 2 million persons from the population. Now let's just say 1 million is underage, so they are legally prevented. Let's just assume that that's the case. All right, good. Now, what we have seen is that voter turnout has fallen. So in 2002, we had a 56.8% turnout. In 2011, it moved down to 52.76%. And then last year, September 3, 2020, it moved down to 37.36%. Now, that's a drastic decline. What is interesting, though, is that while the turnout in 2002 was 56%, the amount of registered voters was 1.2 million. Now, in 2020, with a voter turnout of 37.36%, the voter turnout, the registered voters, 1.9 million. See if you get what I'm saying there. People are registering as voters, but they're not coming out. They're not. Probably because this ID is cheap, or probably because they're waiting for that vibe to hit them during the campaign to say, yes, this is what I want. Right. Now, the general election trends, those are they. Now, what we've noticed, though, is that we use population pyramids to represent the demography within our country. So, with relation to age, when we're talking about birth rate and death rate, most countries tend to use what is called the demographic transition model. Now, when you use the population pyramid, you would notice for 2021 that Jamaica's population between the age 20 to 30 age bracket is the largest it has ever been in a long while. The largest it has ever been, which means that we the young people, there is so much of us, it is scary. I imagine the older generations are scared of us, and that is why when we put forth ideas, they're scared out of their wits. I would be. Because if all along coming up, this was a quiet generation of people and a small generation of people, and now they have big voices and big moves and big intentions, I would be scared. No. The features of this population pyramid is that we have a very low dependency ratio, which means that our older people and younger people though they are there and they're present and they're there in numbers, the economically active portion of the population is able to take care of them
Yes.
based on the numbers, right? Now what we have too is a large life expectancy, which means that biologically, our people are expected to live longer than they would have in times gone by. And that's good. That
Right.
speaks to our increasing healthcare and or increasing financial opportunities, especially for women, because in times gone by, women were people who stayed home. Now there are
Yes.
so many opportunities for education and occupation wise that is really a thing of the past. So the family
Right.
structure has changed. So while we
Yes.
have a high fertility rate or birth rate isn't as high as it used to be. And that's okay. That is a feature of a developing nation. And
Right.
that is where we are. Now, the features of our society, though, we have an injured dollar, or Jamaican dollar is injured. And COVID-19 is to blame for it, yes, but we have made some choices in the past as a people that have really contributed to this dollar. Yeah.
Yes.
And
That
there
is
is a lot that we need to do in order to move forward to strengthen it. Now, we have a national debt too. And that national debt is growing because cost of living is increasing, and cost of living is directly tied to globalization.
yes.
And globally, or people, Jamaican people are people who love to travel. So they go to America and they see this and they say, oh, well, people are living like this, I can live like this. And they come back and it is expected. And then slowly, because society is so dynamic and ever changing, we have to evolve to accommodate this, to create this for our people. Now, 30 years from now, it will be 2052,
Right.
approximately, right? Now, the population pyramid I spoke about earlier, there is a way to project based on trends. So based on the falling birth rate and all of that, there is a projected population pyramid. Now, the features of this pyramid are a higher life expectancy. So life expectancy is expected to increase.
Yes.
So while our health sector isn't A plus and we are getting there, it is good enough to lead us in the direction of living longer and healthier lives, excluding external factors from the body, such as, say, for instance, crime, because that is affecting our death rate on a different level. Now, we're going to have a higher dependency ratio. This is because the birth rate is falling,
Mm.
right? And that means that the fraction of the population that came before us, they're large and they're there. And we know we're smaller, which means that the money that we have will, as this size, will be needed rather to take care of this size. So it's this to this. And that is a lot. So I'm hoping that we will be making financial decisions that will be able to increase our purchasing power, increase our standard of living, while giving our citizens the money that they need in hand, in their pockets. Because without that, we're going to be in deep trouble.
Yeah.
These are the reasons why we need to involve ourselves in the political processes.
Right.
Because sitting at home and knowing all of this and not doing anything about it, that isn't wise. Because, yeah, man, I put it in perspective for you. That's why I spoke about the
Yeah.
population pyramid, and I really gave you a representation as this fraction of the population taking care of this fraction of the population. That is
Yeah.
a lot.
Wally.
No. No, yeah, man, we have to put it in context. Now, globally, voter apathy,
Yes.
globally, registered voters are lower than the voting age population.
Yeah.
Which means that globally, people aren't registering as they should. Probably Jamaica is an anomaly because we're registering, but we're not voting. Remember earlier we spoke about that 2002 versus 2020.
Right.
We're registering, but we're not voting. And perhaps somehow it has to do with what we're doing as a people for our people.
Right.
See if you get me. Are we seeing eye to eye with what is needed now? Are we moving with old ideologies? Are we moving too fast?
Yes.
Is it that what we're doing isn't sustainable? What is creating this rift? Why aren't people interested in voting?
True.
No. This
Do
is
our
what.
people have trust in our politicians?
We're gonna get to that. We are gonna get to that. Those are in the challenges. We're gonna get to that. All right, let's go down to social responsibility. Now, earlier we spoke about our mental health and what is capacity based.
Yeah.
Now, within yourself as a citizen, you have a democratic right to add your voice to the process. You have a right to vote, given that you are a citizen, 18 years and older, and of a sound mind, properly registered, you have a right to vote.
All right.
Now, if it is that you have the capacity to add to the process beyond just voting, it is your right, and it is within your capacity, and it is your responsibility. It is your social responsibility to ensure that you get out there and you do that.
Yeah.
What we tend to do as a people is to sit back and say, oh, well, them go forward, that them are the politician, them, and look at the foolishness, so them are do the foolishness, and we know it's foolishness, you know.
Yeah.
We know it's foolishness, but we're not going for it and saying, no, this is wrong. Do it this way. It's a simple thing, you know. I mean, a lot of persons don't even know that a lot of these bills that are tabled in Parliament by members of Parliament are brought forth by citizens.
That's true.
Ideas aren't unique to politicians, you know, they're not. Take your ideas, put them forward, let us move as a people. There's no selfishness in this. What
Yes.
I really love and admire about the Westminster system of governance is that it has the government and it has the opposition. So it's already the system, you know, having two parts is already telling us that one doesn't do it. Because we aren't a perfect people. We are people. This is life. We are prone to mistakes. Organizations, political parties are made up of people whose lives have been shaped by emotions and traumatic circumstances, and the listing goes on.
Right.
And when in governance, there tends to be a defense, because you know that you are doing what it is that you think is best within your capacity and given the resources you have.
Yeah.
No, the purpose of the opposition is to let you know if this is not working out. So probably you say, all right, let me make some pancakes, and you think, you know, yeah, man, best pancakes in the world, and yes, them hot and thing, and no, but when your mother tastes it, she said, no, man, you should have rub out this part a little more.
Yeah, yeah.
Or you should have put a little less sugar, you should have, you know? Yes. It's just a gentle nudge. It's constructive criticism, because we are in this as a whole, and I want that is best for you because it is best for us as a people. Don't it?
That's true.
Yeah, man, it's true. Now we need to move towards food security and proper health care, because globalization is happening. It is happening, and we can't have our import bill higher than our export bill, because we are heading to a lifetime of debt.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And it is this generation of people that we're going to feel it the most. Now, earlier we spoke about the population pyramid, and now we're going to really look at the demographic transition model.
Right.
So developing nations would normally be in stage 3 of this model, which is the late expanding stage, where birth rate is declining and death rate is declining. But the death rate is way lower than the birth rate.
Yeah.
In that decline, yes. But based on our crime statistics,
right,
the gap between our birth rate and death rate is narrow, and that is dangerous. We are heading into treacherous waters. And I think the discussions about this have been exhausted because we realize that we need quite a few social interventions to really stem this problem in order to achieve any form of meaningful growth. But not much has been done. It is either not much has been done or we're doing, but it isn't as impactful as we would believe. Because we are hearing these initiatives and it's out there, but the effect, it's minimal because we're really not seeing the differences. We're really not. Now, let's talk about the challenges. Now, corruption. You spoke about trust. Not being able to trust our politicians.
Right.
Politicians are people. They are. I am in no way defending wrongs, but I'm saying they're people and they're prone to making mistakes. But an important part of life is learning from our mistakes.
That's right.
So when we do wrong and we realize that no, this is not working out, this is to the detriment of myself and my party and my people, then we ought to just move forward from it. We can't stay in that stagnant zone, letting the world look at us like that and knowing very well that we are dragging down ourselves as a country.
That is correct.
Yeah, and Jamaica as a nation, we are internationally known for culture or music or food. But I want us to be known for our dollar too, or strong dollar or economic strength and or integrity as a nation. When you turn up to Jamaica and you leave your luggage in the airport, you turn up a month later and you say, oh my God, I left this here.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm dreaming, but a girl can hope. A girl can hope. And I think a girl can hope. I think we ought to move forward, move toward. No, fear of political victimization is a major reason why a lot of people shy away from politics. This happens mostly in the private sector because private entities are the ones who would have the option of not hiring or of firing based on political involvement. This is actually wrong. Legally, it's wrong.
Yeah.
So maybe the fear of political victimization isn't really fear of political victimization. It is just ignorance. Because we don't know that this is wrong and we ought to report it.
Yes.
It's a criminal offense. You have a right to your choice. Based on certain offices, though, you would not necessarily go out in your colors and be a person on a bandwagon and go around flaunting and all of that, right? Based on your office.
Right.
Really, right. How you need to be bipartisan.
Right.
In the eyes of the public.
That's
right.
true.
Now, ageism. I don't know how many persons saw it, but there was this tweet.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was from Kevin O'Brien Chang. It was
Yes.
a nationwide news report.
Yes.
And Kevin O'Brien Chang had a lot to say when Senator Gabriela Morris was appointed.
Yes, it was him. It was
Yes, it was him. I was offended.
Yes.
He said the Senate isn't a training ground. It isn't. And I think age has nothing to do with, well, let me not say nothing. Age is a factor to maturity, but age isn't maturity.
That is correct.
It is correct. And our youth came out with the Buy 23 campaign, and I was proud.
Right. We came out strong. We retweeted.
Yes.
We let them know that, listen, this not in this cabinet.
Not in this cabinet.
You understand? We
Not in our youth cabinet.
So.
Yeah, man. And I was proud. Because for so long we've been saying, hey, add our voices. And there are means for inclusion. There are points that really need to be revamped. There
Yeah.
are things that we need to really revisit, because boards themselves too, boards are another issue. They really feature older individuals and neglect
Young
the
but don't know
younger
staff.
portion. Right, the younger portion of our population. And the thing is that whatever policies are put in place, whatever programs are developed, whatever is happening
Yeah.
affects the population itself. And the population itself means young, old, middle, everybody. Yes? Well, of course, dependent on organizations, but you get what I mean.
Yeah.
There needs to be more inclusion. Now, there have been talks about financial stability.
Yeah.
We spoke about it earlier, and we spoke about status and how a politician is expected to turn up in that Benz or that Beamer, whatever there is. Right. Moving towards it. No, it isn't necessarily so. To involve yourself in the political process doesn't mean you have to be this individual. You can be the anomaly.
Yeah.
This is a nation of people who are different. We turn up and we make it our own.
Right.
You can be. And contributing to the process within your capacity doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be this financially stable individual. You are
Right.
on your way there, and that is why you know that you need to involve yourself in the political processes, because the
Right.
financial policies that are developed affect you so much.
Affects them. Somewhat.
All right. And it's present day and future,
Right.
because we need to be constantly in planning mode,
Yes.
knowing that whatever it is happening affects us, and whatever it is that is coming will affect us.
Exactly.
Right. Now, we think about efficacy,
Mm-hmm.
our ability to properly fund our initiatives that we have.
Right.
There are various means for funding.
Right.
You can apply for grants. You can pool resources. That's how cooperatives are formed.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you can pool resources. You can start with the little you have and then build up. You
Right.
can seek volunteers, and
Yeah.
the list goes on. There
On
are
and
so
on.
many ways. There are so
So
many
many ways.
opportunities for us.
Right.
So many ways. And youth out there have been making moves.
Right.
In 2026, there were 61 shortlisted nominees for the Prime Minister Youth Awards.
That is true. That is
61.
great. That's great.
Record breaking. That's wonderful. That's our generation. That's our bracket of people making moves all around.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in poetry, I don't know how many people saw it, but Amanda Gorman did a wonderful presentation at the inauguration
Yes.
ceremony for the President of the United States. That was wonderful.
Yes.
That's poetry. When we talk about film, we can talk about Marseille Martin,
Yes.
the executive producer of Little.
Yes.
When we talk about music, we can talk about our breakout artists for 2020.
Right.
And somebody may argue that it's intense, and somebody else may argue that it's Skillibeng, but Lord
Yes.
knows who. I'm so happy there are so many of them.
Yes.
I am so happy.
Yes.
And so when we get ourselves involved in music and in dance and in art forms and in poetry and in everything else that there is, why not get involved in politics?
That is right.
Think about everything that we've spoken about so far. So we went to political context, we went to challenges, we went to political involvement itself.
Yes.
Why not? Why not add your voice to the process? Why not? And I think there is a negative correlation between individuals in our country who have university degrees and involvement in politics.
Right.
And that's sad, because I think firsthand having to do all the courses that we do and going through that scope of information, seeing what is affecting us as a people that the average man doesn't see,
Doesn't know,
we ought
doesn't.
to be more active.
Wow. And Miss Walfall, I have to tell you, because I want to ask a quick question. I have to squeeze in because
Sure.
my producers, they're saying that I need to wrap up. But I have to
Yeah.
ask a question, you know, to the people here on the live and to those who are
Right.
watching. What would be your final comment to them in terms of getting involved in politics?
My final comment to you is
Yeah.
we all have a social responsibility to ensure that we put our best foot forward in
Yeah.
advancing our nation itself. Whether it means simply stepping out there and going out on election day and adding your voice by dipping your finger in that ink and marking that X,
Yeah.
or whether it means writing your ideologies, putting your plans together, your theories, whatever it is, giving it to your member of parliament to table, or putting yourself up for a post on, say, a board or whatever it is. So just add your voice to the democratic process in whatever way possible there is, because it is needed.
Yeah.
It is, and you do not sit in the dark and say to yourself, no, I can't because I'm not ready enough. Because there are people out there in the world who are in no way as ready as you are, having not the knowledge you have, the knowledge base you have, or the passion you have for whatever it is you believe in, and they're moving out there and they're doing. They
Yeah.
are doing it. And those who are intent on tearing down the world, they aren't taking a break.
Yeah.
So don't take a break in trying to build it.
Yes. Thank you so much, Miss Kahira. I got it right?
Kahira. Close.
Kahira. Miss
Kahira. Yes.
Kahira Walford
Right.
for that amazing. As a matter of fact, this wasn't only a presentation on the democratic process of how we can. This was civics class. This was sociology class. This was
I
a
wanted
class.
to go full scope.
Yes, right. I forgot have a part 2 for this because this is a.
Sure.
You understand me? Cause me I'll get back demographic. Me have to gone back in a Mustafa. Me nearly call somebody a while ago and say, fine, me Chinua Achebe them so we can start back some sociology class. But I want to thank you so much for your impact and the golden nuggets that you have given to us today. You understand me? To really get involved in the process of our country known as our democracy. Thank you so
Right.
much, Ms. Walfall.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes,
Have a
and
wonderful evening.
yes, all right. Thank you,
All
big up
right.
yourself.
All
All right, guys, we are winding down. We are having some. When I say me, I learn. We have some amazing presenters, and just want to thank everybody who has been on the platform so far. Yeah, and we have one final person who's supposed to be here, and I'm checking if he's here. I'm checking if he's ready to step on to the big stage. You understand me, guys? I hope you're learning. Yeah, I hope you're learning. I hope you're writing down. I hope you're grasping. But I'm looking to see if the chairman of the Mona Campus Youth League is present, and his name is Mr. Davion Hemmings. I'm checking to see if he's on standby, if he's in the backstage. Where is he? Because we want to wrap up at a specific time. Everybody's pinging my phone about what the Prime Minister is saying about the measures. Yes, about the tougher measures. Everybody, Twitter is blowing up about the tougher measures. So for those of you, all those who love to sit down and watch what the Prime Minister say, you're still getting involved in the civic and democratic. So yeah, whether or not you like it, you're still getting involved. Yeah. So yeah, I see he said he's on standby. He's on standby. Again, thank you so much, Miss Walfall, for your presence.
Thank you so much for having me.
Not a problem. Thank you so much. Yes, we're on standby for Mr. Davion Hemmings. He is the chairman for the Mona Campus Youth League. Sir Hemmings. Yes, sir.
Greetings, everybody. I hope you hear me well. You hear me clear and well?
Loud and clear. Testing for sound, testing for clarity. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, Fabian, for that welcome. You're good at what you do. That's what I can say.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, it is indeed a privilege for me to be here with you guys. I must extend a sincere thank you to Chancellor Hall for this invitation.
Yes.
I've been listening to the conversation, very spirited conversation, one would say.
Yeah.
I must thank my previous presenter. She was very, very, very in depth in
Yes.
pretty much the topic of discussion. But
Yes.
most
That wasn't a forum, that was a class.
important, a full lecture, man. She
Full
did teach.
lecture.
She did
Yeah.
teach. She really took up a lot of what I was about to say. It would make no sense for me to be redundant in this time. We're all young people and we do understand the importance of democracy and
Yes.
how important it is for us to be involved in the process. So, for the benefit of our guests here and our viewers, my name is David Hemmings. I am the chairman of the Mona Campus Youth League. The Mona Campus Youth League is a club on campus per se, and we are the institutional arm of G2K. G2K, which is a young professional affiliate of the Jamaica Labour Party. Now, I am here to speak to you on the topic youth participation in democracy. Wow. After a presentation like what we just had, I don't know how to even start. But I can simply say for me, my participation in democracy began from as early as high school.
Yeah.
When I had a teacher. His name was Mr. Courtney Hughes. And for those of you who are from Westmoreland and attended the Manning School, Vitas in Literismo Est, we'll understand that Mr. Hughes is an iconic teacher. And for those who are on the live can repeat with me, he says, it's either you're wise or you're otherwise. Life's about choices. The choices you make today affect you tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it was a very catchy phrase at that time. And he would normally repeat that whenever we were regurgitating information in his class, because he's a man, he doesn't take books and doesn't teach from papers, he teach from here. And it's very important for us to retain the information here. So he would normally say that. But then those words and those phrases really and truly lived on in my life. And for me, whenever, my participation in democracy, in choosing somebody to lead and to represent me, really and truly, that choice that I make today will affect me tomorrow when that person wins or lose.
Yeah.
Or for the next 5 years when I serve under his or her stewardship.
Yeah.
So it's very important for us as young people to understand, because we are the ones pretty much that will reap the benefit of our decision. We have the life to live it, to appreciate it, right?
Right.
So just some key pointers we need to define in this topic: youth, democracy, and participation. Now, according to our national youth policy, a youth is defined between the ages of 15 to 24.
Okay.
But we aren't allowed to vote until we're 18, and the process of getting an electoral ID and going through the voters process. Now, I would have gone into some other information that our previous presenters would have. Previous presenter, the VP of Health from Mona Visions, her name is Tricky.
Wallfall. Miss Wallfall.
That name. And she made mention of a number of points, very important points. And if for time, I would not go and repeat and be redundant.
Understood.
But the age group 15 to 24, that's our youth. That's our demographic. That's who we are, right?
Yeah.
But democracy is a system of governance that eligible members choose their representative. It's as simple as that. You choose who you want to lead you. Now, the choice you make today to choose, well, let's put it in plain context. Margolin or Andrew Holness. The choice you
Right.
make today for the next 5 years, you have to live with that.
That's right.
And we make a wise decision. That's something that we ought to take into consideration. And most important, why we, the young people between 15 to 24, are so withdrawn from the process.
Mm-hmm.
Participation, most important, is the action of taking part in something. Now, based on our the demography of youth 15 to 24, we can take it into two phases. Institutional participation. Yes, it is very important for us to understand. Our previous presenter would have given us some figures and some age and some year groups where elections would have been from 2002 to 2020.
Right.
Now, we would have seen a drastic decline in voter turnout in general. And of
Yeah.
those significant figures, 2020 and 2016, we would have seen where more youth would have been involved, even though the entire voter turnout would have been on a decline. Why is that so?
Yeah.
We'd have seen where youth would have been involved in the democratic process from a younger time, per se. So our participation in choosing a student council representative, or participation in choosing our guild president, or participation in choosing our faculty faculty leaders, or hall chair, that is the grassroots or the beginning of the process to democracy.
Right.
It is very important for us to understand that. Now, how do we get involved in that process? It is quite simple. For political systems to be representative, all parts of society must be included. When
Right.
young people are a portion of that population has little or no voice or influence in that decision, that affect group members, right? So if we don't talk,
Right.
I mean, even though I am one person, I have one voice, but if we don't talk as a collective group, who are gonna listen to it,
Mm-hmm.
right? We spoke about the campaign that we all participated in for Senator Morris, when Kevin O'Brien Chan came out and attacked her, and as a youth we all stood with her,
That is
and
correct.
that really it ring bells. At one point, I believe he had to withdraw his statement. I mean, it take news
Yeah.
as a unit within this demography. And if we take a look at the entire demography of Jamaica, we realize that we within this age group or this zone, we are very, very important. We
Yeah.
have a lot to say. So why not say it?
True.
So to make a difference in the longer term, it is essential that young people are engaged in formal politics. Inclusive political participation is not only a fundamental political and democratic right, but also policies that respond to the specific needs of younger generation is what we need to focus on.
Right.
So currently, we have persons, when we look at the age group of persons within the House of Representatives, they are pretty much 65 to 70% pretty much is under 40, it speaks volume,
Right.
Fabian. It speaks that when we get involved in the grassroots progress or the process, we
Right.
have an inclined nature to participate in the greater process, and that is
Right.
what we need to focus on as youth. Our my previous presenter would have focused on the wider scale person involved in the bigger politics per se. But my focus is, let us start by getting involved in the little politics per se. Let's start by coming out to vote for our guild president. Let's start by coming out to vote for our faculty president, our faculty leader. Let's start by voting for the hall chair and the deputy hall chair that we have. You know, Lakeisha
True.
Locke came on deputy hall chair for excellence before. Pick up yourself, Lakeisha, by the way. We need to get involved in that process. And once we there's a thing in politics and in elections overall. Once you're involved in that process, you're so riled up for the next election. I don't know about you, Fabian. Have you ever participated in the democratic process of voting for your? I mean, you were student
Yes.
council president.
Yes. Right.
For you, there's an inclined nature for you to begin or to grow into something more. And and I want to be very brief with this. My charge to young people is get involved now. The little difference that those will make or your participation in the process now,
Right.
it could be that you could be the voice that raised the issue for, let's take it on a high level, for your bathroom to be clean every day instead of once per week.
Right.
It's a joy to see when your voice is heard
That
and
is true.
your whatever your thoughts or your ideas are coming to life. It is a joy,
Manifest.
and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, to manifest. So really and truly, Fabian, that joy will propel you into the grand scale. I
That
can
is
guarantee anybody that. Because for me, when I started out as student council president, it was a joy to lobby for, because we my team and I had a project to do a notice board per se,
right.
right? Of achievements. And when that was attained, it was a joy to see you hear me?
Right. I hear you now. You're back at it again. Yes.
Okay, good. So it was a joy for us to see all of that. I then
Right.
went on to National Youth Parliament, and it was a joy to see a number of our recommendation being adopted by our representative. And it
Yes.
didn't stop there for me. I went on to be a part of several subcommittees of the Caribbean Regional Youth
Yes.
Council. And now I am leading a set of young people who are focused on being a difference in tomorrow's society, the society that we will inherit. So we are here in the process, and I cannot reiterate any much more the importance of being a part of the grassroots progress process. Sorry. So Fabian, to keep it very simple, to keep it simply stupid, let's get involved in the grassroots process. It is very important for us. Like I said, it would have been redundant for me to repeat all that our
All
VP
that
of
was said.
health,
Yeah.
and those are very important points. So that is my charge to each and every one. I am open to taking any questions at this time, if there's any questions at this time.
Any questions at all? Checking in the comments. Not a question at all. Checking. 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 Checking for the questions. And so even you had mentioned something, Davian, and you were saying that where you started from was right in your high school in that branch called the student council, and
Most
from there
definitely.
it propelled. A lot of people don't understand that that is the building, that's the center. That is the center of youth leadership and advocacy, where it starts from. Big up to people like even Ruth Lawrence, where they are the ministry, where groom, the
No,
youth them,
Ruth is a class by herself. Ruth is
Yeah.
in a class by herself.
Yes.
It's not only National Youth Council, National Secondary Student Council. We also have the National Youth Council of Jamaica,
Yes.
where you have grassroots people and people who up on the ground and know what it is to
Yes.
to 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 see a next brother man around on the corner and know say the brother man they have little carpenter skills now, but him don't really have the tools to execute his trade. And
Yeah.
that like one advocacy, find a youth club and talk about it and create a youth club and go and you come to the ministry and say, ministry, we need this and we need that. That for you is being a part of the participation in democracy. And
Yeah.
you have that choice, you have that right to lead and to advocate, because advocacy is very, very, very important
That's true.
in in the democratic process. You have to choose somebody who will advocate effectively and efficiently for you. So you have to understand the process. You know, when I started out, I was with I'm from Region 4, so back then we had Sharika Burgess as Region VP. I came up under Everton Ratch's regime as National Secondary Student President. Benjamin Fraser. Those are iconic young people who would have been involved in the democratic process. Everton Ratchy is now chairman of the Jamaica Union, well, the outgoing chair of the Jamaica Union of Tertiary Students, and he was also involved in National Youth Parliament. And I can just anticipate greater things to come for him as he transcends into the process. So there are many ways in which you can come to the forefront. Like I said, National Secondary Student Council. You have the National Youth Council of Jamaica. You also have the Youth Advisory Council. You have several groups and that you will take it to the forefront. You understand? It is just for us, because you do have persons who are out there who believe that they want to be a part of the process, but one, they don't know the avenue, or two, they're disenfranchised to feel as if their voices will not be heard. Now, I'm saying to you, you know, you find your market, you find your niche. If you want to talk about climate change, you have the Jamaica Climate Change Youth Council. You know, you have a Minister Pernell Charles Jr., who, if that the man, listen, that's one of the politicians, one of the many politicians that I know who listens to young people. Him not afraid. Yet he will always be there, and you'll be a part of the process. It is very easy, but yet hard, because you'd have to put yourself out there. Nothing is not going to come to you by chance, right? So, like I said, life's about choices. The choices you make today will affect you tomorrow. If you choose to shut them out and not be a part of the process, it's hard for you to want to rejoice in the well. Let me not even say it like that, but it's hard for you to implement the change, or challenge society if you're not a part of the process per se. If I mean, my granny always say, "Shut boy, no catch fly." Say, if I'm never want to talk. Yeah. You have to be involved in the process, you know. So you just find your avenue, and you know, it's either you're wise or you're otherwise. Yeah, let's participate now. Let's participate now, because the society that we will inherit when I am 40, 45, and to know that I could have, but I didn't, and now I'm suffering because of my reluctant behavior. It's going to be painful, and I want to live in a society that I can live, work, raise family, and to do business prosperously.
I totally understand, and I've totally documented, and I hope that the persons here today have documented what you've also said as well, because it's very vital for the youths. A lot of people don't understand, especially from what the last presenter said, that the youths were a big factor in the last general elections of this nation, you know.
And not only the last general election, but let's look at 2016 election. When I look at 2016 election, 40% of the youth, of the voters, of the I think it was 48.1%. Don't quote me on that one, but I think it was like that. Of that number, we had almost 50% being youth, being involved in the process, because they saw a leader who came with something new. You understand? So we're looking for something new and to be a part of the process. And what many people wouldn't have known is that the prime minister back then, while he was in opposition, did his homework. And he understands that the youth is really and truly what will bring him home, bring him to government. So, and he capitalized on that, in my opinion. So once we get the youth involved, it can swing a lot of tides for you. So get yourself involved. And this is a call to the senior politician: get the youth involved, because oftentimes, even though young blood don't know STEM, we're very innovative. We're very
Yes.
creative.
Yes.
You know, we think generously and honestly. But you need us as much as we need you, and you need to involve us in the process. Involve us, as an MP. Find a division. Find a youth clubs, and you walk the community. Find the youth them and talk with them.
Right.
One conversation can be that factor that will change a young man's mind from being involved in the process rather than being away from the process.
Thank you. And I believe that is a note to end upon. I believe that is a note where you understand me. You can just drop the mic and walk right through the door.
It's,
Are there
you're a super general.
are there
But
any
thank you
more
so much.
comments you
Yeah.
would like to give to the young people in terms of the political process?
I think I would have said it all. I think I
Yeah.
would have said it all. It is very important for us to understand what we want. And we are the molders, or the persons who will shape our future. So be involved.
Right.
It starts as little as choosing your block rep for those who live on off, choosing your guild president for those within the university era,
Right.
or age group. It starts for those who are in high school, your student council president, your head boy, your head girl. Those are the
Yeah.
person who will effectively and efficiently advocate for you. And advocacy is very important in democratic participation.
That is
So
true.
once you are able to choose somebody who will advocate for you effectively and efficiently, that is all that really matters. And once you've started, don't stop. Continue
Yeah.
along the process. You know,
Yes. I don't know if something happened or if something occurred and it chipped out Sir Hemmings. I'm giving him about 1 more minute to check to see if anything is okay. I think that's all from Mr. Hemmings. And I wanna big up to Mr. Hemmings and Miss Walford for talking to us about the political process. And guys, listen, I talk about corruption and this and that. Guys, you are the change. You are the change, and you must know what is inside of you. You are a global influencer. Stop sitting down in a corner and and thinking that, oh, the change will come just like that. No, it won't come from complaining. A action do that. I think that's a good place. Yeah, man, a action do that. Anyways, I'm moving right along because we have two other presenters. I bring here to you Mr. Kimani Shah. Mr. Kimani Shah is, the Faculty of Social Sciences representative, and he'll be talking to you about how you can improve your public speaking skills. Is Mr. Shah here? Let me know. You are locked live to the Chancellor Hall External Affairs Committee Improving You Forum. Sir Shah.
Greetings, Mr. Morris. What's up?
Yes, how you doing, sir?
I must say that I've been here for quite a while, not in the
Yes.
narrative room, but viewing from the YouTube page, and it's
Yeah.
been really a fruitful discussion because we've touched a little bit of everything so far, and that's what I
Yeah.
like about the forum because it's about
Yes.
improving, and we're focusing not just on some specific areas, but we're looking at it holistically and
Right.
incorporating a lot of different aspects together that makes us into a better person or the
That's right.
ultimate rather you
That's
know
right.
and speaking about something like this, I would rather a face-to-face setting where I
Yeah.
get in with the audience. And this is something interesting right now to even bring it up about public speaking, seeing that we're doing it
Yeah.
online. Um,
Yes.
but yes, I want us to have a. Feel free to stop me. I want us to have a conversation, not just me talking. Because if the executive producer actually warned me not to go over 10 minutes because I tend to talk a lot when I'm passionate about something or when I
Understand.
know and I just want to contribute and to help somebody. So I'm gonna
Yes.
try to cut the time. But feel free to
Yes.
stop me, ask me a question while I speak. But and the topic of improving your public speaking is actually an interesting one because I believe that every single person point in life in their life has been afraid of actually going up on a stage or going in front of a mic to actually say something, whether it's their name or something else. And I'm sure you, Mr. Morris, if you're as an
Right.
eloquent speaker yourself, at some point in time, you were kind of, fearful of speaking in front of a crowd, and that's completely fine because
Right.
I was one,
Still do
and that's
sometimes.
yes,
Yeah,
yes, it's
yeah, yeah.
complete because I was once that way, and that's actually one of the main reasons why I actually stepped out of my shell and landed
Right.
in student leader, you know, because I was very a timid person. And let me tell you a story. I remember back in grade six, I don't forget this day. I was really looking forward to becoming a prefect. And a lot of students would like to be a prefect and to help out the student advocate on their behalf. And
Yeah.
I was a quiet person back in my time. And my teacher said that the reason why I did not receive a prefect out was not because I didn't have the requirements, but because I was really shy and never spoke that much. And
Right.
it was disappointing to me personally because it was something that I was really looking forward to. And it's actually one of
Yeah.
the main reasons that drive me to step out of my shell because I realized that this small thing that's holding me back is not allowing me to achieve the goals that I really want to achieve and to reach where I want to
Yeah.
achieve. But on that point, though, I just really want to share three main points on public speaking going forward.
Yeah.
And the first is authenticity engages.
Right.
When you're speaking to a crowd, you have to speak with a given mentality, meaning
Yeah.
that you're not going here to just advertise a business. Say, oh, I'm about this, I am that, I am the CEO, I'm the
Right.
CEO of that. I own X amount of this. I have this amount of positions. You're going to
Right.
that event with a given mentality, and by giving or contributing in order to help your audience to at
Right.
the end of your discussion to be or to take something from that and can appreciate.
Right.
And through presenting something like that, you find audience that really welcomes your type of message more. Because when you go to public speaking events, a lot of the speakers there, you don't really connect to them. But the reason why some of us don't really connect to them is because they don't really relate to us, or they don't
Right.
really feel that type of or give off that type of energy to actually do connect with them, right? And that's where I spoke about authenticity engages. Because with
Right.
public speaking as well, it's difficult for a lot. But one of the most important things when you're not doing a presentation or in this setting a live or just speaking to a group of persons is to practice. And that's one
Right.
of the things that I do if I'm going to give something that I want to have substance. To at the end of the day, when I'm speaking, somebody gonna look back and think about it. That this is just at the back of them, that back of their mind, and they can't forget it's something meaningful. So you want to
Yeah.
practice, because I practice in the mirror. When I wake up and I have something huge to do, I practice in the mirror. I practice around my friends. I call my mother, say, "Mommy, how this sound to you?" Right? I'm gonna present to
Right.
you. Just give me your feedback and tell me how this sound to you. Right? Because it's always difficult to do it in front of a crowd, but when you actually practice and you do it and put in those little steps, and on the end of the day, and when you actually do have the presentation, it won't feel easy, but it does make
Yeah.
it easier for you forward. And that's one of the
Right.
things that over the years with public speaking, practice and preparation, but it's not always easy. It's a step-by-step process, and I think it's one of the biggest mistakes or biggest misconception that a lot of us have, is that when you go up and make a
Yeah.
presentation and it doesn't go well, you really don't want to do it anymore. But it's okay. Most of the times it won't go well, but it's a step-by-step process. But by
Yeah.
continuously engaging with audience, you don't even have to jump to a big audience. You can start from your family, you build up from there, and at the end of the day, you might find yourself interacting with over 10,000 students, audience of you were able persons. As long as you follow that
Mhm.
principle, you will eventually gradually feel a little bit more comfortable. But it's a process, and
Right.
it's a process that cannot be rushed, right? And you have to listen to yourself first, because you have different types of public speaking. You have others that can use PowerPoint. Some persons
Yeah.
use speeches. I've usually used speeches in the past, but at this point in time, I haven't written a speech in such a long time. I just speak. I make some points, and I just follow that points. But it's not a lot of persons can do that. And it's good to know your audience, to know how to present to your audience. But it's also good to know yourself, to know the type of presentation or the presentation style that you feel most comfortable with.
Yes.
Bring across the information in the most impactful way that would really touch and find your audience, and you can leave something substantial at the end of the day after you finish speaking. And I will move on to my next point, which is awareness, like specifically situation awareness, because most of the times when you do create a presentation, prepare for a presentation, and I can give you a perfect example. Let me tell you a story. Back in Upper Six, when I was being interviewed or preparing for my head prefect interview, trust me when I say
Yeah.
that I was nervous. I was very nervous. I've been in a lot of social interactions, public speaking interactions, but I was still nervous, and that's completely fine. So let me tell you what I did. I prepared a lot. I actually had a whole chart with data and some PowerPoints to show them how this works, how this is going to work.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
fully prepared. Like I had a speech, I written a speech, and I memorized a speech. I say that
Mm.
I'm gonna stick, right? That's how I plan to go into the presentation. But on
Yeah.
my way, I know it's my time to be interviewed, because I was expecting some stern persons, because I wasn't sure who was I going to be interviewed by. I was going to expect some quiet people, some serious fears staring into my eyes if they can see into my soul and realize my true intentions, if I can actually be the head prefect, something like that. But when I actually entered the room, the vibes was
Yeah.
completely different. When I say completely different, you have persons laughing, having a good time. Everyone was just chilling there, and I was saying that, wow, boy, this not really match up to my presentation style. Like my presentation style was just serious, like full on business. So what I did was I changed the whole format of my presentation because of the situation that I was in. I realized that I
Yeah.
was getting a different type of vibe and a different type of environment that I was in. Because that's completely fine. Sometimes the way how you plan things aren't the way how they eventually come out. You have to adapt to a situation. So what I did, I realized that, all right, cool. They're laughing, they have a good time, they're having a vibe. And when I sat and I was ready
Yeah.
to be interviewed, everyone was smiling and just, joking around. I was saying, you know what? I'm just gonna have a good time with these people. I'm gonna tell a one or two, let them know that I'm not just always serious, but you can actually socialize with me on a different level. I'm gonna change some things here, I'm gonna change some things here, and I'm gonna change some things there. But the thing with that is you can't
Yeah.
is not something that you just happen overnight. It's something that you do have to practice situation awareness when you're doing presentations. Because sometimes the situation might change on you and you have to flip the script. I have to, do a completely different presentation than what you had planned for. But that's completely
Right.
fine. And the last thing I want to touch on is authenticity or boldness. And I can't stress this enough. Not authenticity, audacity and boldness. And I can't stress this enough. You see, when you're presenting on something and it's something that you're passionate about, or if you're doing some type of social media engagement and it's on a topic that you're really passionate about, when I say passionate about, you're really passionate about, to your core passionate. I know, Mr. Morris, you're really passionate about Christ, and I really completely relate to this because I watch your testimony sometimes. Trust me,
Yeah.
audience, really, really touches you sometimes.
Yeah.
And you want to be bold and passionate. So if you're going to present on something or you're going to speak on something, you don't want to speak on it halfway. You don't want to you want to go halfway, or you don't want to say such thing because you don't want to offend somebody. If it is something that you're passionate about, if it's a position that you're passionate about and is something that you truly believe that you can make a difference with if you receive that position or if you're doing a presentation, full on audacity and boldness. Speak the truth and don't ever
Yeah.
cut short or leave out some points because you want to offend some, you don't think you might offend somebody. You have to pull in 100%, right? You have to be bold and brave and be truthful and not just truthful but authentic with your
Right.
audacity presentations so that your audience can relate to you. They can see that this is something that you are really genuinely about. This is something that you truly care about. This is something that you have adequate knowledge about, and they see the substance out of your presentation, and they can connect it because through that they can more relate to across, and
Right.
they can reach the message, and the message can reach them, and through there you leave an impact, a lasting impact on your audience, or through your interview panel or whoever you're speaking to, through your audacity and through your boldness and through your authenticity. That at the end of the day will ensure that your message or the message you bring across is substantial and will leave a lasting impact at the end of the day, next week, next year from now, next 5 years from now, when something bad happens and they're in a situation, they remember what you said to them, and that particular thing that you might say, whatever it might be, a quote, a line from your engagement or something that helps them to push them or to overcome whatever problem that they're going through,
Right.
or to solve a situation or to solve a problem, no matter what it might be.
That's right.
Those are points. But I must say, aside from that, overall public speaking right now has been much easier, seeing that is online, because you do
True.
have persons that are you're presenting but you don't have on a camera, and because you don't have on a camera you don't feel no one is seeing you, but the fact that you can do that, you can
Right.
present, that shows that you can do it in person. It's all
In
in your
person.
mind,
Yeah.
it's just on perspective and how you view a situation. But as I say, Mr. Morris, I don't really want to speak too much, so feel free to ask me any questions that you might have, or if the audience have any question for me.
Right. I don't see any questions in the audience, but I have one question because I know that the executive producers down my back. The one question is, how can people overcome? It's good to be anxious right before you go and do an event, but how do you overcome it? How do you? What steps do you usually take to overcome the
All right,
anxiousness?
let me tell you, I usually use a technique. I can tell you what I usually do when I am about to step in front of a present a panel,
Yeah.
and I've used since I've been the faculty rep. I had to speak to administrations, the teachers and the lecturers, because I was in that first meeting. I must tell you, and I had to use this technique in order to overcome. What I did was I thought of my mom, because I have a source, right? What's my source of inspiration? My mother is my main source of inspiration. So when I'm doing a presentation, I look towards the screen, but at the forefront of my mind, I am picturing my mother sitting there motivating me and pushing me on,
Right.
right? And I use that as my personal technique whenever I feel a little fearful before a presentation. I
Right.
have that in the forefront of my mind because that's my source of motivation. Someone might have a different source of motivation, but whatever your source of motivation is, your main source of motivation, I find that that tends to be helpful whenever you want to push forward a hurdle or push forward something that's right in front of you, but you need to move past off. So that's what
Right.
I personally do. But it comes with practice though. When you practice it, it becomes much more easier. Sometimes right now, you don't really need to do it that much. But that's what I do when I need to do a presentation. I practice. Other from my main source of motivation, which is my mother, I tend to practice it, and look forward from what you did from before in your last presentation, what you thought you did wrong, analyze yourself and critique yourself from your last presentation. It will help you to be more comfortable when presenting. You realize that you did wrong. You realize what made you uncomfortable when you were doing a presentation. If it was you being too stiff and you were just there talking this whole time, you're not moving your
Right.
hands around or anything like that. just analyze yourself and ask your friends and family to critique you to see
Right.
what you did wrong and how you think you can feel more comfortable. Because the aim of the presentation is for you to feel comfortable. Because by you feeling comfortable, you can bring across your topic, or your ideas and your perspective to the audience in a much more relatable type of way.
Understand, totally understandable. And thank you so much for your contribution. You know, I don't see any comments, I don't see any, you know, but thank you so much for your contribution, Sir Shaw. Because you know, me and you coming from afar away, even from NSSE days, we would know, you understand me. You have stepped out continuously, and I am proud of you stepping out and continuously growing. Right? Thank you so much for your golden nuggets which you have left with us today. All right.
No worries.
Thank you, sir. All right, our final presenter, guys. You know, we have the one and only in no other than Madam Antoinette Hines, and she's the president of the UWI Marketing Association. She'll be teaching us how we can rebrand ourselves, how we can effectively brand ourselves using social media. I'm a friend of mine through Carnival Online, and online, you know, guys, and it was a success. How can we use social media to empower us? Madam Hines, are you there?
Hi. Thank you so much for
Hello.
having me able to hear clearly.
Yes, I'm here. You're a little bit muffled, but I'm hearing you as you go along.
Is it better now?
Little bit better. A little bit better.
Okay. Awesome. Yes, thank you
Yes.
so much for having me. It's really definitely an honor to be here with, the Chancellor
Not a
Hall
problem.
family, and to everybody who's tuning in right now. Thank you so much for, sticking around until this point. Yeah,
Right.
so as mentioned and as you guys have advertised, I will be, going a bit into social media branding and how to improve that, whether it be your personal brand, a brand that's attached to your business or an organization that you're part of, whatever it is. This session is for you. I actually
Right.
have a small presentation to share on screen. So I will do that now. 1 second. Are you guys seeing my screen? No?
Nope, not seeing the screen.
Okay, 1 second. I'm trying to okay, so whilst the team sorts it out, hopefully we should get the presentation up. But in the meantime, if you know that this conversation would benefit someone, feel free to share the link with them, a friend, a family member, so that they can get these tips on social media branding and be able to have a fruitful
Go right
discussion.
ahead. Go right ahead.
Let me try sharing again. Okay. Here it is. Are you guys able to see it now? Can someone comment? Yes. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Right. So again, as we discuss, social media branding, I have just a small 10-step guide to help you guys, in improving your social media brand. And so the first step, of course, would be value assessment. So of course, if it's something that you are gonna improve on, you definitely need to be able to kind of pinpoint the areas in which that you want to tackle. Of course, you're gonna need to take some time to dissect, the current state of your brand, the current state of your social media presence, and what exactly everything looks like before you know. So it's really just, assessing that and then deciding if your brand values, whether it be your personal brand, as I said, or the brand or the values assigned to your brand's business or organization, ask yourself if they're congruent or if they align with your social media. Because of course, if it is that you have established a brand that says, I am a person who is interested both in marketing and advocacy, your social media have to be able to reflect the same if that's a part of how you want to put yourself out there and how you want to market your brand. So again, with this first step, doing the value assessment, is really just taking apart the current state of your brand and looking at how your social media is and deciding whether or not it aligns with your value system, so that there is, the messaging is clear at all times. So I'll go next into the other step, which is your value proposition. And really what this is just a deeper understanding of your values, so that you're better able to align all the other aspects of your life with your brand, including, of course, social media. Because especially, for persons who have brands for themselves as individuals, you definitely want to be able to represent yourself well at all times. So you want to be sure that whatever it is that your moral compass says, that is in alignment with your brand, and whatever it is that you put out there for the public on, social media. And always remembering as well that you are the most critical part to your branding. It doesn't matter if the brand is for you. It doesn't matter if the brand is for a business or an organization that you don't necessarily want to attach your face or name to. It doesn't matter. Once you're part of the story, or once you're a part of the brand, it's essential that you prioritize yourself. So, knowing what your messages are and your values are, and knowing where you stand in life and all of that is very important. Or, our speakers touched a bit earlier as well on mental health. And I just wanted to chime in a little bit. It's absolutely important to prioritize your mental health, because managing brands, whether it is yours again or it belongs to a business or an organization, it's a lot of hard work, and there's a lot of pressure, and there are a lot of complexities that exist on social media, and there is so much that we have to face and absorb in this time. So prioritizing yourself, you are the most critical part of any branding strategy that you will try to develop or improve on. So yes, so now we can dive into the third step, which is building your content pillars. So now that you have identified what your personal brand values are, the values of your brand, and you have figured out now that this is what the brand is, that it aligns with your social media, and you've taken the necessary steps to do that, now would be a great time to kind of tweak your content pillars. And what content pillars are just the topics or areas of focus that your brand will consistently discuss or tap into. So essentially, this is really all you will create your content around. So for example, if you are selling candles, something that would be a part of your content pillars would be, I don't know, scent, affordability, and probably packaging or something. So you would probably take pride in, the variety of scents that you're able to offer in your candles, how affordable they are, and how good they look when you, receive your package. And that would be something that you are in your branding to kind of, attract customers and all of that. So you really just want to be clear first from aligning your values, so that once you develop your content pillars, everything is, congruent, and there's a good synergy flowing between the two. And it will just overall improve your brand because there will be no miscommunication or misinterpretation from a majority of your audience, at least, because there are some lapses in every case. But yes, so for the most part, your audiences should be able to have a clear understanding of what it is that you're about, whatever your brand is all about. So we can go into the other step, which would be charting your goals. Now, as university students, I'm pretty sure we've all heard of SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. It's absolutely important that when you are improving your brand, that you have SMART goals, because if it is that we are working on improving your brand, then there has to be some measure of success that you're able to, calculate at the beginning and at the end of it. So once you look at your brand now and you say, all right, I feel like I could probably tweak my Instagram bio, or maybe I need a new logo, or perhaps I need to develop a different color scheme so that maybe that can translate into visually, more visually appealing aesthetic, and customers will feel like this is a brand that they should, support and engage with. So you definitely want to be able to have, SMART goals. Always remember that timeliness is important, because that's how you are going to be able to measure, success or failure. I don't really want to get too technical, but key performance indicators, KPIs, are critical as well. I mean, I feel as though marketing sometimes can be perceived as something very free flow, or lacking a bit of science, but there's definitely a lot of science behind this area of study. So I just wanted to plug that in there as well, that charting your goals, once you're charting your goals, that they are timely and that you observe the SMART framework, because without that, then you will just be doing a bag of things and not be able to measure whether or not they worked after you've done them. So you definitely want to just be a bit strategic in that sense. Now, again, once you have identified your values and you've developed your content pillars, and now you have your clear-cut goals, it's time to look into the audience that your brand will engage with. And this is very important, that the audience, so that you're able to maximize on the content that will connect with them well. So with this step, it's kind of a two-part type of thing, where you have to first identify the people that your brand will attract, or who you think it will attract. And then, of course, your goals and your values must be, things that the target audience will identify with or be able to connect with. And this target audience group as well needs to be specific. You can't just say, oh, you want to target all males. Like, males from where? Males how old? From what sociocultural background or racial backgrounds. Like, you want to be very specific so that you're able to optimize everything: content, engagement, relatability, and the works. So absolutely important to do that. And also, in this step as well, knowing what your target audience will find relevant is something that I believe we often miss with branding, and just social media overall. We kind of get lost in this kind of notion that you must produce content and you must push as much as possible. Whilst there is some truth to that, you also need to kind of balance that plethora of content with relevance. So it needs to be a case where you're producing relevant, consistent content as opposed to consistent content, because you will have some posts that don't fall on the air as well as you'd hope or would like them to, and won't get the engagement. You won't be able to generate leads and all of that. So target audience is a really big topic. I noticed a lot of the speakers would have touched on in the different spheres. So definitely want to, make a note of that. The following step now is selecting the right channels. So you know where your target audience are, what, pieces of content they would find relevant. Now it's time to decide where you publish that content. and knowing, you know, the nature of your brand and the function of your brand will ultimately determine what channels you choose. Of course, we're all familiar with the most popular social media apps now: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and now Clubhouse, and there's a whole lot more. But based on your brand, and this is definitely something that you would have to decide, because it will be, you know, quite different for each brand. For example, I don't think that, say you have a sandal brand, I don't perceive that LinkedIn per se would be the best place for you to kind of, you know, get customers and get sales or just improve brand awareness or anything like that, because of the nature of the platform and the nature of the brand and the function of each, as opposed to pick perhaps someone who has a digital marketing company where, you know, they want to find new customers, they perhaps want to hire persons or offer internships and the like, you know. So being able to identify the nature of your brand and the function will help you in selecting the right channels for your brand. And again, once you have selected the right channels, relevant content is what will, you know, help you to strive or be a key part in helping you to build your brand awareness. Following that is story development. And I like this point specifically because I feel as though marketing has a lot to do with generating profits and leads and making sure money always a make. But personally, you know, as a social marketer, as I like to consider myself, I do believe that latching your target audience to a story really does wonders. You know, establishing that personal connection between your brand, whether it's your personal brand or, again, you're a brand for your business or organization, with a target audience will definitely help, you know, the target audience to feel a sense of trust and relatability and kind of have something to just kind of tug at their psyche and their moral compass. Because if, say, for example, one of you have a nonprofit organization that tackles gender-based violence in Jamaica, and you've followed all the steps and you kind of want to get your brand out there more so that persons are, you know, learning more about whatever it is that your function is or your mission is, etc. You want to kind of build that story, tell them along the journey, and make it as impactful and kind of just nerve pulling as it can be. Because at the end of the day, whilst we are, you know, persons driven by so many different external forces, there are some of us who resonate more with brands that have purpose and vision and life to offer. Because even for a better example as well, brands, there's a trend that I've noticed recently here in Jamaica locally, where persons no longer want to support large manufacturers. They prefer supporting local businesses that are making the products locally or using, you know, environmental friendly products. And it's, you know, things like that, developing the story and giving your target audience something that they will appreciate and be able to connect with will help you in improving your brand. It's more than just the designs and the fonts and the lettering and the messaging and how pretty your posts look. It's, you know, so it's all about story. And I think story development is definitely something that we often overlook and should tap a bit more into. Now it's time to create and participate. Now it's time for you to create and participate. Push that content, create that content. I know as young people, millennials and Gen Zers, we get pretty caught up in our heads about the content that we produce. We want to make sure that everything is perfect down to the T. And whilst that's okay, you must be able to allow yourself some grace and just some patience with putting out content. Don't get caught up in the fact that you need a photographer, an editor, and Photoshop and all of that to put out decent content. You really don't need the most to put out high quality, consistent content. All you need is a good story, consistent messaging, and just relevant content that will connect with your audience. So yeah, create the content, don't overthink it, just ensure that you cover the key rules, the key bases, and just, you know, do your thing. Also, I say participate as well, because there are, you know, trends or activities online or events that will connect with your brand in some way. So it's always good to participate in those things. You know, it helps to sustain your relevance in the space. It helps to raise your brand awareness and to even be able to upsell customers or generate new leads, or just for people to know and to be able to recognize your brand on a larger scale as it is. Because remember how the algorithm works. Everything is pretty much, you know, connected on social media. And so say, for example, there is a social media competition that, who to say, that Grace puts on. And say, for example, your brand is that you're a chef. You know, you're a chef, but you're not a chef that has gone to school or anything like that. You're just a self-taught chef. You just love to cook and you've been cooking. If Grace do a little thing, put yourself in there somehow, like, you know, whether it is that they're doing the competition or you're just having some kind of activation online, participate in it, because you never know which segment of their audience will be able to connect with yours. And that's just, you know, opportunity for your brand to grow and for your brand to just be doing, you know, better than it is now, improving it as you will. So definitely create and participate, and don't be afraid to put yourself out there at all times. I mean, at the flip side to this as well is that persons will either find it quite of a nuisance. So you always definitely want to be mindful of how often you do these things, so you don't, you know, kind of give too much information or flood the timeline with too much of your brand, because yeah, that's not received well by consumers. But yeah, so create, participate, and don't be afraid to put yourself out there. And also don't watch nobody. Don't watch nobody, because people will try to make it seem like you're doing the most. Yes, go right ahead. Do the most, because you are righted to that, and you want to improve your brand. You're just gonna have to do what it takes, and just kind of have tunnel vision focus. So yeah, there's that. So after you've done all of this now, after you've figured out your values and you've done your content pillars and you have your goals, target audience, you've picked your channels, you've developed your story, and you've been creating and participating, you want to keep that going. Keep the momentum going. I know though, for persons who have brands to manage and brands to kind of get out there and everything, it really does become overwhelming after a time, because there's so much that we're battling now in life, with the pandemic, with, you know, personal issues, school, everything. It doesn't matter though. Keep doing it. Don't stop. I also like to tell people, and to even remind myself, starve your distractions and feed your focus, because there is, again, so much that we, you know, are facing on a daily. And if you internalize all the external noise, you strip yourself of the just the opportunity to thrive. So you definitely want to just keep at it. Don't stop. Now watch no face. Lock in your blinkers and just know that you have your specific set of goals that you want to achieve, and just keep working towards them. And finally, my final step would be to monitor and evaluate. I absolutely want to emphasize this step, because of course, if you are working on improving your social media branding, you have to start at a point and work your way up. With all the steps that I offered, you know, up until this point, you want to be able to take that initial assessment and be able to see whether your strategies failed or whether they proved successful. So definitely take the time to, you know, go over your metrics, your engagement analytics, and just look at all the different strategies and how they were able to, and just how they worked for you. And of course, using whatever data or information that you would have gathered from this evaluation will help you to adjust further. I mean, improving your social media branding is something that's ongoing. It's something that's ongoing. You will consistently be doing it, because, you know, at some point the brand will either change or the target audience will change, or so many different things will change externally and internally. So using that data and those metrics will definitely help you to adjust so that you're able to constantly improve your brand and just kind of meet the goals that you would have set for yourself. So yeah, that's pretty much my little 10-step guide on improving your social media branding. I want to thank you guys so much for having me on this panel. And of course, if there are any questions or comments that anyone would like to ask or make, definitely go ahead with that.
I had to just ensure that I come out. I just lock off my camera and just make you just do your delivery. Come and see you come with PowerPoint and everything and all these things. Yeah. And some of the comments is very engaging. We have Chelsea out here saying it's the delivery for me. Great advice. Yeah, we can't agree with the utmost for the highest thing there. But anyways, people like saying interesting and you know. So I don't see any questions, but it was a very informative session, Madam Hines, and I want to thank you. And what stick out for me was consistency, because a lot of time we start, but we kind of stop, we come off of it. So yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. So with that being said, I don't see any questions at all. So I want to use this time to thank you, Miss Hines. And guys, you can follow Miss Hines at _Antoinette Hines, all right, on IG, and the UWI Marketing Association at UMA Mona.
That's
Yes,
right.
that's right. Yes. All right. So thank you so much, Madam Hines, for imparting to us your knowledge. All right. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for
All
having
right, madam. Yes, madam. Thank you. Yes, guys, we have come to the end of this exciting and fun session. And trust me, I don't know about you, but I've learned a lot. I right now my book full. And I hope you have also been imparted. I hope you have also been impacted by those who presented this evening. And I wanted to say big up to Chancellor Hall, to the Chancellorites, and to the Chancellor Hall External Affairs Committee for putting this forum together in helping us to improve ourselves. And at this time, I welcome the Deputy External Affairs Committee of Chancellor, to just come on and give the vote of thanks. Sir Brown, go right ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Morris, for all you've done this evening. You've been a very engaging host for this session. I'm sure that individuals who would have tuned into this session would have learned a lot and would have appreciated how engaging you were throughout your presentation. I'd also like to thank the viewers, because the main purpose of this event was to improve an individual, improve the many facets of an individual, improve the different sectors of an individual. And as would be realized, we covered a myriad of topics because we wanted to improve the overall self of an individual. So we're grateful to our panelists, our presenters. They did an astounding job. I came out learning a lot more than I went in with. And I'm extremely grateful to be one of the facilitators of this event and to have taken part in the execution of this event. So thanks to everybody who tuned in. Thanks to you, Mr. Host, and thanks to everybody else. So thanks everybody, and we look forward to your continued support, and follow us on our social media pages.
Great night, everybody. This is Chancellor Hall External Affairs Committee Improving You Forum. My name is Fabian Morris. Until we meet next time, here from Chancellor Hall. Thank you very much. That sounded good a while ago, not true? That sounded like a news reporter. Later, everybody. Big up on yourself.